So, Mahi, were you there in the last class?
But I don't remember, Srinivas.
You don't remember? Okay, sure. So, in the last class, we discussed why God appears to be, partial. Why God appears to be partial, because we see so many disparities in the society. Some people are rich, some people are extremely poor, some people are very healthy and strong, some people are physically challenged, someone is born blind, someone is born handicapped. So, looking at all these disparities, it appears that God is partial, God is unfair to people, and everything is happening randomly. And also, when you look at so many miseries, like for example, so many innocent children getting killed uh, in a bomb blast or in a gunshot. We always hear, right? Especially from Texas, some shooter goes into a school and he fires gun on innocent children, elementary school children, and many children die. So when we look at all this, it appears that God is being so cruel. He is very, cruel. So God is unfair, partial, cruel. Now, when Vedas are declaring that God is all powerful, all loving, all knowing, He is omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. So He knows everything, right? He knows past, present, and future, and He is present everywhere. Sarvantaryami. But why does God let all these things happen? Why does God let all these things happen? So to understand this, that why does God let some cruel things happen, and why does God appear to be partial, and to understand why do bad things happen to good people, or why do good things happen to bad people? So we first need to understand the five major topics that are discussed in Bhagavad Gita. These are the five subject matters discussed in Bhagavad Gita. The five subject matters are Ishvara, God; Jiva, or the living entity, the soul; Prakriti, material nature. God has God's energy is of two types: uh, superior energy and inferior energy. So God's superior energy is the spirit soul, and God's inferior energy is the material nature, Prakriti. The fourth one is Kala, or time. Fifth one is Karma, activity. So these are the five subject matters discussed in Bhagavad Gita: Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, and Karma. Hi, Madhav. So I think we discussed some of these topics in the last class. Let's do a quick recap and continue with the rest today. So Jiva and Ishvara, we already discussed in the last two topics. Topic 2 was who is God, and does God exist? And topic 3, who am I? Topic 4, who is God? So in those three topics, we discussed elaboratively about the two subject matters, Ishvara and Jiva. Now, Prakriti. Okay. Third topic is Prakriti, material nature. So when Mahavishnu, when he is lying down in the causal ocean, okay, the slides are moving somewhat weird. When Mahavishnu is lying down in the causal ocean, he impregnates the material nature with living entities. So first he creates Pradhan or Mahatattva or the matter, and then he impregnates the matter with living entities. All the rebellious souls, all the souls who did not want to be with Krishna in the spiritual world, who wanted to explore their own their own freedom, who wanted to be their own god, who wanted to become their own god. So Mahavishnu, he impregnates those living entities into the material energy. And we also discussed the differences between matter and spirit. Matter is temporary and spirit soul is eternal. Spirit soul is full of knowledge, full of bliss, and full of, and it is eternal. Whereas matter, it is temporary, it is a dull matter. There's no knowledge in this. It's full of ignorance, and there is no ananda. It's nirananda, full of misery. That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, this material world is dukkhalayam ashashvatam, because it's created of material energy. It's matter. Our bodies are created out of matter, earth, water, fire, air, ether, and everything that we see in the material world is also made of matter. So by nature, matter is temporary and it's full of miseries. Nirananda. Whereas spiritual world and spirit souls, they are eternal. Material world is temporary. So at some point, the material world will be annihilated. Whatever we are seeing in the material world, Hare Krishna. So everything will be destroyed. There is a partial annihilation and complete annihilation. So during the day of when the day of Brahma ends, then there is a partial annihilation, and when the day of Brahma, when the age of when Brahma's 100 years complete, then the complete annihilation happens. Even Brahma, Lord Brahma, is also annihilated. So that's why even the topmost living entities in this material world, including Brahma and Indra, Varuna, Vaya, Vayu, all the demigods who are in the Swargaloka, everyone will be annihilated during the complete annihilation. So material world is temporary, whereas spiritual world is permanent. ఈరోజు వాళ్ళు రావట్లేదా? ఓకే, మెసేజ్ ఏం పెట్టలేదు. మోహన్ డ్రాప్ చేశాడు మళ్ళీ. ఓకే, మరి వస్తారేమో తెలియదు, మరి చూద్దాం. అటు వెళ్తున్నాము. ఆన్లైన్ క్లాస్ ఆన్లైన్ చెప్తాం. ఓకే, అండ్ we also discussed the size of the material world as compared to spiritual world. So spiritual world is big, material world is very, very tiny compared to spiritual world. Material world is only 1/4 of the total creation. 1/4 of the total creation. But when we look at things in the material world, when we see so many people, the 7.8 billion population in the entire world, and so many trees, so many animals, and not only this world, right? There are so many universes. So when we look at all these things, it appears as if there are so many living entities in the material world. It appears as if everyone is here and there is nobody in the spiritual world. But that's not true. The 1/4 of the entire creation is in the material world, and rest everybody is happily enjoying in the spiritual world. So material world is compared to a prison house. And just like there are different types of cells in the present house. There are different types of classifications in the material world also. Like some people are, they get an opportunity to live in nicer places like America or some of the Western countries, Europe. And some people who are not fortunate enough, they get to live in places like Somalia, where they are even suffering for bare necessities like food and everything. But no matter whether one is living in a comfortable place like in America or Europe, or somebody is living in poverty-stricken places like Somalia, or some places in India or China, everyone is suffering. Everyone is suffering somehow or the other. Everyone is leading a life just like in a prison house. Now, when we say that material world is a prison house, now that is not to portray a gloomy picture of the material world. It is not to discourage things. It is, it is not to say that okay, so don't expect anything while you are here and don't do anything. So it is not to portray a gloomy picture on everyone, but it is just to give the reality of the situation. So sometimes acknowledging the reality is more important. At least acknowledging the reality. Realizing or accepting or facing the reality is the next step. But at least acknowledging the fact that this is the reality. The material world is. Yeah, Hare Krishna, Basu, how are you? Yeah. So at least acknowledging that this is the reality. This is the reality of the material world. It is Dukkhalayam. It's a place of miseries. It's like a prison house. That itself will. That itself is a first step in starting the journey in finding the true happiness. Because our goal is to get rid of this miserable place, material world, get rid of this cycle of birth, death, old age, and death, and then go to that place which is eternal, where there is all happiness, bliss, and you never have to come back to this material world. So that's our goal. So just like a prisoner who is in the prison house or jail, his goal is how to get out of the jail and never come back to jail. So
in spiritual world, everyone will be always young and so energetic.
They are always young, Navayavana, and energetic. They don't age, and there's no concept of time there. So here we age because there is a time factor which is forcing upon us.
Yeah.
So it is forcing upon us to grow, dwindle, and die. Yeah. Whereas in spiritual world, there is time, but it's not a forcing factor. It is not
in this material.
Like in this material world. There's a concept of time to facilitate different leelas or pastimes. Okay. And we also discussed in the last class, why are we here? Why are we in the material world? It is because of the hatred that we developed towards God. Ichcha dvesha samuttena dvandva mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sargayanti parantapa. So ichcha dvesha. So these are the two dualities. Ichcha is desire. Dvesha is hatred. So when we were in the spiritual world, we developed hatred towards God. Looking everyone serving God, we thought, oh, why everyone is serving God? Why not me? And we developed that desire. So it is dvesha towards God and ichcha for our own self. Ichcha dvesha. So we developed a desire to become God so that we can also enjoy like God. So everybody will serve me. Instead of me serving God, everybody will serve me. So we develop these two, anarthas, ichcha and dvesha, out of our free will, limited free will. All the living entities, they have limited free will. The fact that there is love, that means there is free will. But some living entities, some jivas, they misused the free will and they develop these anarthas, Icha, Dvesha. Icha is to desire to become God, and Dvesha is to develop hatred for God. Okay. And then Krishna understood our desire to become God. And then, yeah, please open. And then he created the material world and said, okay, so you want to become God? Go to the material world and try to enjoy by yourself. Try to become God, and see what happens. Wow, looks like you had a sleepover. Huh? Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. Hey, Samit, how are you? You didn't have anyone for sleepover last night? Okay. Okay, Hare Krishna.
నేనే మీకు కాల్ చేసి మీతో వద్దామా అనుకున్నా. ఇవాళ ఉన్నా కుదిరేది కాదేమో కదా, తను ఉన్నట్టు.
Okay, for everyone who is online, we have some people here in person. Sapana, I think you are joining for the first time. So you can see who and all here in person. We have Sudhakar and Jyoti and their son Samit. And we have Vasu. We have Kalpana. So there is one person who joined for the first time today, Sapana. She's our community. She's in your community?
Yeah, Jyoti told me about that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, you can also try to come in person.
Sure, I'll try.
Yeah, you can come with Jyoti and family. And there is Kalpana, behind your community, there is Kalpana also. She comes every week. Jyoti, Sudhakar, everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Nice. Do you come to temple, Sapana? That ISKCON temple in Samamish?
Yeah, I have been a couple times. It's not regular though. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you read Bhagavad Gita before? Do you have any exposure, any background?
Yes. I mean, not that fluent, but I do know 18th adhyay of the Gita.
So you know 18th chapter?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah, so last week we had a nice Gita Jayanti festival. Vasu was-
Yeah, I missed that piece.
Yeah. So,
But we read here, it's like first time in my life. I don't know the meanings. Still, I felt that positive vibration.
yeah, even if you don't know the meaning, simply reciting or hearing the sound vibration of Bhagavad Gita shlokas has a lot of potency.
Yeah, that day I don't know why I'm feeling happy. Also, I don't know.
Yeah.
After hearing the entire slokas.
Okay. Nice.
Really, it gave me so much happiness.
Yeah, we can do that. Sometime later we can do that during Ekadashi day or something. We can do that. Okay, so coming back to this. So we developed these two anarthas, Icha, Dvesha. We wanted to become God, and we developed hatred towards God. And then God created the spiritual, material world, and He sent us to the material world. And He provided all the facilities, just like a child, wants to go to Disney, right? So the child can find everything in the Disney world. So this material world is like Disney world. We can find all kinds of toys, all kinds of instruments that we can play with and experiment if we can become God or not. So forget about becoming God. First of all, we are not able to lead normal life. Yeah, normal life. We are not able to lead a normal life. So just discuss this.
ఎప్పుడు మీరు ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్తారు కదా, వైఫ్ హస్బెండ్ మన మాట కంప్లీట్ గా వినడు, మనం ఎక్కడ జాగ్రత్త.
Yeah, we are not able to be happy in our own house. What to speak of the material world and what to speak of God, becoming God. We are not able to control our own wife or husband, our children. How can we control anyone else? Now he has
Just a question, speaking about control. So aren't we say that, I mean, don't we say that everyone is like free, they have their own will. So why to control anyone like that? I mean.
Yeah. So we have free will, but it's a limited free will. It's a limited
Okay.
free will. And
Okay.
there are many things in the material life that we are forced to do.
Mhm.
Okay? We are forced to eat. When you are hungry, you are forced to eat. So we don't have any control over that. Okay? And we are forced to go to restroom. If you eat or drink, you are forced to go to restroom. You have no control over that.
Yeah.
And
Sometime only we can.
you're forced to sleep. There are many things you are forced to do in this material world. In fact, everything, 99% of the things, you are forced to do things. The only thing that we are able to do, kind of, not in a forcing manner, but out of our free will is, what is that? The question is, there is one thing, there could be few other things, but at least one thing, one activity that we are able to do what appears to be like out of our own free will. Nothing like forced upon us. See, other things that we discussed, like you're forced to eat when you're hungry, you're forced to go to restroom when it is a time, and you're forced to sleep, you're forced to die, you're forced to go through the old age and diseases, all those things. But there is one activity that appears to be out of free will. You're able to do it freely, not somebody's imposing upon you or forcing you to do this.
Breathing.
There's one activity.
Breathing.
Breathing.
It's forcing us, right?
Breathing is it's a natural activity. It's a natural activity. We are not consciously doing it. You're not consciously doing it.
Praying to God,
Praying to God.
Yeah, either you can accept God or reject God. You have two options.
Okay, that's a good point. Yeah, praying to God. Okay.
Yeah, you will also reject. Some people reject the God, right? They don't want to pray God. They want to enjoy the material life.
Yeah. So yeah, even God himself is not forcing us to pray to God. Okay, so that is one activity. Very good. But before that, before somebody comes to even that stage of worshipping God or praying to God, in the normal life, take your day-to-day life, one day of your life, and think of one activity that you are able to do freely. Like nobody is forcing upon you.
Behavior.
Seeing also, you're forced to blink your eyes. Okay, and you're forced to see. Behavior.
If you want to behave well, you will. If you don't want to behave well, you won't.
Behavior, you're forced to behave. You're forced to behave. So when you are living in America, you're forced to follow the rules and regulations of America and become a good American citizen. And when you are in India, you need to follow those rules and regulations. You're forced to, follow those rules. But one activity, helping others. Okay, that's also good point. Yeah, because nobody is coming and forcing you, saying that, hey, tomorrow you come to so and so charitable organization and donate food to the the homeless people. Nobody's forcing you. Okay, that's also a good point. But praying to God or doing any charity, these are occasional activities. Praying to God should be daily activity, 24/7. But at least until you achieve perfection, you're not there yet. You don't worship, you don't pray to God all the time, right? But one activity that you do all the time and freely. Anyone online? Mahi,
I'm thinking of
Sapana.
only breathing only.
Yes, Srinivas. Breathe is the common activity.
Breathing?
Yes.
Yeah. Breathing is a natural phenomenon. You don't put a conscious effort to do that. So whether you breathe or not, it happens automatically.
How Prabhuji, it won't right?
I mean, unless you close your nose and mouth. Okay, now let me ask you. You are sleeping. So who is doing the breathing there? Are you putting any conscious effort to breathe?
No,
No, right? It's a natural phenomenon.
Thinking.
Yes, very good.
Okay.
Thinking. So she has been thinking all this while. She has been thinking whether this is the correct answer or not. Should I tell or not?
You could say interacting or talking, but thinking.
Thinking. Yeah. Thinking is something that you can do freely. Nobody is forcing you, and nobody is asking you to think this way or that way. So, yeah, thinking. Okay. Okay, now so we discussed about the material world and the prison house, all of this. And in the material world, there are 8.4 million species of life. And this is not only in the earthly planet, but it is in various planets. It is in sun planet, moon planet, Mars, everywhere. Wherever there is life, there are possible species of life from this classification. 8.4 million species of life. Why 8.4 million? Why that exact number 8.4 million is? Because there are 8.4 million types of desires that we all have. 8.4 million types of desires we all have. We have a desire to eat certain type of food. We have a desire to dress in certain way. We have a desire to sleep, for so many hours. We have a desire to go on vacations. We have a desire to fly like birds. When we see birds, Samit, did you ever imagine that you flying like a bird? Or did you ever want to fly like bird? Yeah, that's another desire. Or a desire to surf in the water, go surfing. So many things, right? So many types of desires. And depending on our desires, we are given a specific life to fulfill those desires. In the next life, we are given a specific life to fulfill those desires.
While dying, if we are thinking I want to be in next life like this, then only, right, Prabhuji, we will get that karma. Or while having life.
Yes, that's correct. But whatever you do in your entire life, that is what you will remember at the time of death. So during the lifetime, if you're always thinking about, for example, birds, right? You're always thinking about flying like a bird. So you develop a strong desire like that. At the time of death, it's natural that you will remember a bird. And let's say somebody has a pet dog or pet cat. And somebody can have a pet bird also, like parakeets, right? Parakeets or parrot. So a few months ago, I went to New York, New Jersey, and I visited one of my old friends. I met him after 20, 25 years actually. And his son, he has two birds, parakeets, small birds. It's called parakeet. Do you know, Samit? Parakeet. They are in beautiful colors actually. One is in blue color, the other one is in light and beige color. They said they are made in the laboratory. So that's why they are very small. They don't grow. And laboratory means cloning, either cloning or
Lifespan also short. Right?
yeah, lifespan is also very short.
Very short.
Yeah, lifespan is also very short. So yeah, like that, somebody can have a pet bird also. Now, when you have pets at home, you are seeing the pets most of the time than the family members in the house. Family members, they either go to office or go out, and you see them in the evening, or you talk with them for some time. But pets, you spend a lot of time with pets, and it's natural that you'll remember your pets at the time of death.
Like your kid. Like your kid while going to die.
Yeah, exactly.
Think about our kids.
Yeah,
right?
so the kids after certain age, they will go out of the house, either go to the college or get married and go out.
Their own life.
Yeah, but yeah, pets, if you have I mean, if there is a reason, you can still have pets. But eventually I think we should get rid of pets. And we also discussed about the three modes of material nature. Now, when we are in the material world, when we take birth in the material world, we are forced to act under the influence of the three modes of material nature. And what are the three modes of material nature? Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Okay, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. These three modes are like the binding ropes that are binding to this material world. And these three ropes are compared to golden, silver, and iron chains. So if somebody is in the mode of goodness, that means they are bound by golden chains. If somebody is in the mode of passion, they are bound by silver chains. If somebody is in the mode of ignorance, then iron chains. But iron chain, silver chain, at least they are better than golden and silver chains, better than iron chains. But still they are chains. They are binding you and keeping you in the material world. So the goal is to become transcendental to these three modes, to go even higher than the mode of goodness. So generally, mode of goodness is best, but that is also binding us to the material world. So best thing is to transcend, to go beyond the mode of goodness. It is called pure goodness, Vishuddha Sattva. Mode of goodness is Shuddha Sattva, and beyond mode of goodness is pure goodness, Vishuddha Sattva. Vishuddha Sattva. Vishuddha Sattva is the platform where a person performs devotional service, bhakti, all the time. But mode of goodness is as a platform where one can begin doing the devotional service. And we also discussed some examples of people for these three modes, right? Like mode of goodness, we see people from Brahmin families. They're in the mode of goodness. They're happy, they're calm, peaceful, and they are well educated also, spiritually and materially. They're intelligent. We see that Brahmin people, they're intelligent actually. So their intelligence, their IQ levels are a little higher than others. So Brahmin families, they're in the mode of goodness naturally. And then mode of passion. Mode of passion is Vaishya families, people who are doing business or cow protection or farming. They're in the mode of passion. Okay. So they always want to do, they always want to achieve so many things. No matter how much they have, they always want to achieve more.
Farming Brahmins చేస్తారు కదా కావాల్సింది.
Farming is a prescribed duty for Vaishyas. Brahmins prescribed duty is preaching.
Yeah, please.
Preaching. Parohityam or preaching, spreading the Vedic knowledge to others. That is their prescribed duty. Because all these classifications, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, they are classified according to Guna and Karma. Guna is qualities and Karma is their activities. So based on the qualities a person has and based on the activities a person performs, they are classified as a Brahmana or Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra. It is not by caste.
Nowadays, no one is doing.
Yeah, but in society it has become a tradition that if a person is born in Brahmin family, caste Brahmin family, they are also classified as Brahmin. But a president's son is not a president. Okay, the president's son should have qualities and activities. He should perform the activities of president to be qualified as a president or to be classified as president. But just because he's a son of president doesn't mean he's a president or he'll be qualified to be called as president. He needs to have those qualities, the inclination to become a president, and he needs to perform and prove that he can be a president. Only then he'll be classified as president. So that's why they say, right? Pandita Putra Paramashunta. So we have seen many, children of Brahmin parents, they are illiterate. The parents are highly educated, and many children in many families, they are illiterate. And mode of passion is Vaishya, and mode of ignorance is Shudras. So they're completely ignorant of spirituality. They're completely ignorant of God, completely ignorant of law of karma. They do things whimsically. Whimsically means whatever they think is right, they do it. If they think even killing somebody is right, they do it. And that's how the terrorists, right? Terrorists think killing somebody is right. Especially the people who are following jihad, they think it's right. If they do that, if they participate in that movement of jihad, then they go to Jannat. So for them, it is right. So they don't have the ability to discriminate between good and bad because they are in the mode of ignorance. They're completely influenced by the mode of ignorance. They cannot think straight. They cannot think about God. They cannot think about spirituality. They cannot think about soul. They cannot discriminate between good and bad, all those things. So there are some shlokas in Bhagavad Gita that describe these three modes: mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Sattvam, rajas, tama iti guna prakriti sambhava nibadhanti mahabaho tehe dehinam avyayam. So this is summary of all the three modes. Okay, Sattvam, Rajas, Tama iti guna prakriti sambhava. Now let's see what are the qualities of a person who is in the mode of goodness. We discussed this also in the last class, but let's go over again. The person who is in the mode of goodness, he's pure, he's illuminating. Illuminating means when you see some Brahmin people, right, who are very intelligent and they have nice Vedic knowledge, you can see there's a lot of glow on their face. They're radiating a lot of glow and energy. You feel positive vibes just being in their presence. You feel a lot of positive, for example, if you go to Redmond Dikshital Garu, right? So you feel very, very peaceful, very calm, and you feel very energetic. He generates a lot of positivity. He radiates a lot of happiness. So that is what illuminating means. Illuminating means prakashakam anamayam. If you look at the second line there, prakashakam anamayam. They illuminate with their knowledge. They illuminate with their Vedic knowledge. They're full of knowledge. And with their abundance of Vedic knowledge, they illuminate light. The Jnana Deepa. It's called Jnana Deepa, the light of knowledge, or the knowledge of light, whatever. So people who are in the mode of goodness, they are always seeking knowledge. They are wanting to learn about God, soul, and about this life and everything, and how to get rid of this material world, how to become sin-free, how to go back to God, how to go back to spiritual world, all these qualities. And a person who is in the mode of passion, these are the qualities. They have unlimited desires, and because of their unlimited desires, they are entangled in this material world to fulfill those desires. When you have desires, you are entangled to fulfill those desires. You take birth repeatedly. You take birth and go through the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease, and then try to fulfill these desires. Whatever desires that are not fulfilled in this life, you take birth in the next life accordingly. You will get a body. You will be given a body accordingly to fulfill your desires. So people who are in the mode of passion, they are not peaceful, they are not calm, they are full of anxiety, they are always running here and there. And people who are in the mode of tamoguna, darkness or ignorance. So they are completely ignorant of God and spirituality. Excuse me. Excuse me. And these are some of the symptoms of a person who is in the mode of ignorance. They're mad, lazy, procrastinating. Procrastinating means always postponing things. If you have to do something today, you postpone it to tomorrow. And if you have to do something tomorrow, you postpone it to next week, next month, next year. In Hindi, they say, right? Kal ka kaam aaj ka kaam ab karo. But they change that definition to aaj ka kaam kal karo, kal ka kaam parso karo. They are ignorant of right and wrong. They cannot discriminate. They are always sleepy, intoxicated. And we also discussed about food, right? How food impacts what we do. Everything that we do in this material life is influenced by the three modes of material nature, the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. But why somebody is predominantly influenced by mode of goodness, like Brahmin people, or why somebody is predominantly influenced by mode of passion, and why somebody is predominantly influenced by mode of ignorance. That is because of the food that we eat. The food that we eat. In English, there is a saying, right? We are what we eat. We are what we eat. So we discussed these in the last class, so I'm not going to read again. So Krishna explains in chapter 17 of Bhagavad Gita, foods that are dear to the people in the mode of goodness, foods that are dear to people in the mode of passion and ignorance. And what is the result of eating such foods? Now, every week, the food that we eat here in this home, we can see drastic changes, right? We always want to, eat more and more of that.
Yeah.
So I hope Mataji is hearing us. She's busy cooking in the kitchen.
Online people are here too.
Yeah, online people are developing a desire slowly to come here. So because that food is a mode of goodness. It's a sattvic food. It's sattvic food and offered to God. We are taking that as prasadam. It has a lot of potency. It can bring transformation in the way that we think. So food definitely has an immediate impact. It doesn't take a few years or few ages. It has an immediate impact. The food that you eat, it has an immediate impact on you.
See, like when you are born, number of beds counts is already written, right?
Yeah.
Then doesn't matter which food I eat, right? Because I live anyway 100 years. If my span is 100 years written before, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what food I eat, right? Still I live 100 years, right?
No, it is not only just living, right? The quality of life,
The thought.
your thoughts, the quality of life, your health and emotional state, and your qualities. You're a good person or a bad person. So everything matters based on what you eat.
Okay, but they said like increase of lifespan and the goodness if you eat that one. So that one doesn't have any effect, right? Whatever the food I eat. Increase lifespan. Does it increase
If you
lifespan?
eat heavily, you breathe slowly, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, that's why it increases lifespan. Okay.
It affects.
If you're in passion, if you're eating bad food, you are like
You
anxious,
more.
breathe, shallow, fast breathe,
Yeah.
and all that, right?
But still I live 100 years, right?
So it's the number of breaths, right?
Yeah, count less, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it affects your health and emotional state, and then it affects your lifespan also.
Yeah.
Foods that are in the mode of goodness, they increase the lifespan. If you eat wholesome foods, fatty foods, they increase your lifespan. Increasing lifespan means a person who is destined to live 60 or 70 years, they will live up to 100 or 120 years. It's not like that. Their lifespan will increase by 5 years or 10 years, because why the lifespan will be increased? Because no diseases, right? If you eat good food, no diseases.
We are maintaining our health.
Yeah, no anxiety. You're always peaceful. Your emotional state is nice. You're leading a happy life. So naturally, the lifespan will increase a little bit.
ఈ మైక్రోసాఫ్ట్ లో ప్యాషన్ ఉండాలి అంటారు కదా ఫర్ వన్ ఫేజ్.
Yeah.
How far that is correct?
You need passion to do work. Okay, you need passion to do work. So if you look at Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, right? Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Vishnu is in the mode of goodness. Brahma is in the mode of passion. Shiva is in the mode of ignorance. Now, what do they do? What does Brahma do? Creates. To create anything, you need to be in the mode of passion. If you are in the mode of ignorance, you cannot create, right? You go sleep and Brahma may think, okay, let me create these living entities tomorrow. I'm so lazy today. I'm sleepy. Let me go to get some sleep. I'll create the living entities tomorrow. So no, he's in the mode of passion.
You said ignorance is like under the Shiv, but ఆయనేమి లేజీగా ఉండి ఓకే ఈ ప్రాణాన్ని రేపు తీద్దాం అన్నట్టు ఉంటారు కదా. ఇగ్నోరెన్స్ అంటే లేజీ
Destruction.
ఓకే.
So he has taken a role appointed by Krishna only. He has taken a role of destructing the material world when it is a time, the partial annihilation or complete annihilation. So at the end of Brahma's day, Lord Shiva destroys everything in the material world except Brahma. And when Brahma's 100 years also are elapsed, then Lord Shiva destroys even Brahma also. Yeah. So you need mode of passion to create things. You need mode of ignorance to destroy things. And you need mode of goodness to... What does Vishnu do? Vishnu is in the mode of goodness. What does Vishnu do?
మనందరినీ చూస్తాడు.
Yeah. Maintains. So to maintain, you need to be in the mode of goodness. So even in our practical day-to-day life, right? You need passion to work, and you need ignorance to sleep. In the evening, you need mode of ignorance. Otherwise, if you are in the mode of passion, you cannot get sleep.
In the daytime also sometimes we are having ignorance and sleeping.
And in the morning, you are naturally in the mode of goodness. In the morning also, if you are in the mode of passion or ignorance, as soon as you wake up, then you feel like you want to sleep again. That's what we do, right? Most of the people, alarm rings and then we snooze it and then sleep again. So that means we should be in the mode of goodness, but we are dominated by mode of ignorance. That's why we want to sleep more and more. And so you need all these three modes in the right proportion at the right time. Otherwise, you cannot do things. You cannot function in this material world. But too much of passion, too much of ignorance is not needed. So what they say in the corporate companies, right? Microsoft or especially Amazon, right? Amazon is popularly unpopular for nasty work culture, for notorious work culture.
Nowadays it's changed and then not that much. It's
Still.
changed. No.
Yeah, still it is bad. Still it is bad. Yeah.
It's slowly changing.
Yeah, they expect you to work more and more, 16 hours a day, 18 hours a day.
Not 16
So
hours.
that is too much of passion. Too much of passion. That is not good. So even the foods also, you need to have foods of different tastes. Like you need to eat bitter things, sour things, pungent things, fatty things, everything. But too much of bitter, too much of pungent, too much of sour is not good. Similarly, too much of passion, too much of ignorance is not good. Just the right amount of passion and ignorance. So there was a story of in the Puranas. There was a story of saintly couple, saintly wife and husband. They're very pious, very saintly, very devotional. They wanted to have children, and they tried for 1,000 years, 2,000 years. That is probably from Satya Yuga or Treta Yuga.
Oh, that time 5,000 years lifespan?
No.
1,000?
This is 100 years. Kali Yuga is 100 years. Dwapar Yuga, I think 1,000 years.
Oh,
Treta Yuga, 10,000 years. And Satya Yuga, 100,000 years.
my God.
Yeah. So this pious couple, either from Satya Yuga or Treta Yuga, they wanted to have children. And they are in the mode of goodness. They're pious people, devotional people. They are in the mode of goodness. And they wanted to have children, but even after trying for 1,000 or 2,000, several thousand years, they could not get children. And then, because they are mostly, they're highly influenced by mode of goodness. Okay. And now you need some amount of passion to create. You need some amount of passion to get children, right? So now they decide to go to some island, where they're not, seeing God, or they're not influenced by mode of goodness, and then try to develop some kind of some amount of passion, and then procreate children. Yeah. So you need all these three modes. You need mode of goodness in a larger quantity, but mode of passion and ignorance, just the right quantity to do things. Okay. Okay. Now, we discussed this: golden chains, silver chains, iron chains. Yeah, this is all over. Okay, now the next factor. So far what we have been discussing is about the Prakriti, the third subject matter in Bhagavad Gita. So we discussed the Jiva, Ishvara in the previous classes. And then today we discussed about the Prakriti, material nature. And now Kala or time. Kala or time. So this is the fourth subject matter. And after Kala, there is Karma. So Kala. So time is a forcing factor upon us. Time is a forcing factor upon living entities. And it's a powerful force. No one can escape from the influence of time. When it is a time, everybody has to die. When it is a time, everybody has to go through miseries or diseases. And when it is a time, everybody will be destroyed or annihilated. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, chapter 11, there is a shloka, Kalosmi, time I am. He says, I, in the form of time, devour everything. I, in the form of time, devour everything. Devour means destroy. So on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, when Arjuna decided not to fight, because he was seeing his grandfather Bhishma, teacher Dronacharya, his cousins, relatives, all those people, and he decided not to fight. Then Krishna tells in chapter 11 that Arjuna, I have already killed all these people. Your teacher Dronacharya, grandfather Bhishma, and all other Kauravas, I have killed everyone except you 5 Pandavas. I have killed everyone on both sides, Pandava side and Kaurava side. I have killed everyone on the battlefield except you 5 Pandavas. Now you just take the bow and arrow, get up and fight, and take the credit. You become my instrument and take the credit of attaining the victory. Krishna has done the job. Okay, Krishna has killed everyone, and he shows also in the Kala Rupa form, in the Vishwarupa Sandarshana form. Krishna shows that everyone, all the Kauravas entering his mouth, just like fireflies entering into the fire and then dying instantly.
In his mouth.
Yeah, so he shows his mouth, the fearful, completely black face and with red teeth coming out, and all the Kauravas entering into his mouth, and he's biting them and destroying them. So Krishna shows all of that to Arjuna to indicate that he has already killed all those people. Now it's only a matter of becoming an instrument for Arjuna, getting up and fighting and taking the credit that he has attained the victory. Now there, Krishna explains that he is time. He, in the form of time, destroyed everyone. He tells to Arjuna, if you don't kill them now, they will be killed anyway. Somehow or the other, they will be killed anyway. Today or tomorrow, they will be killed. If you are not ready to fight, I'll find someone else as an instrument and kill them. Either some natural disaster or some terrorist who is shooting a gun, mass killing. I'll find some instrument, somebody as an instrument, and kill those people. They will die anyway, either today or tomorrow, somehow or the other, they will die. Now, don't think that you are killing them, you are being the cause of their death. Okay? So they are eternal souls. Nobody can kill the soul. You're only killing the temporary material body. And material body is temporary, it has to come to an end anyway. Whether you kill them or not, they will come to an end, definitely. So Krishna tells this to Arjuna, and he also shows to Arjuna and encourages him to fight. Now what we are seeing, as time in the clock, so we are seeing the time here, right? In the clock. Now we know that it is 12:10. Now this is not the indication of time. It is only a measurement of time. But this is not the indication of time. Time is a subtle thing. All these 5 subject matters. Jiva, Ishvara, Prakriti, Kala, Karma, everything is subtle. So what we are seeing is only measurement of time. But the factor Krishna in the form of time, forcing everyone and everything to come to an end, that is a subtle thing.
So,
And time causes, yeah.
If Lord killed already all the Kauravas and everyone, right?
Yeah.
Then why karma is attached? Like if God is doing everything, right? He's the doer.
Mhm.
If I'm not the doer, right?
Yeah.
Then why karma is attached to me? If I do anything else.
So yeah, that's a good question. So we'll discuss that during the karma topic.
Okay.
Okay, Basu's favorite topic. He has been waiting for that.
Why
So,
nothing happens to people?
yeah, we will discuss that. Yeah. So is everything predestined or do we have free will? You know, that's a popular question. What you're asking is also somewhat similar to that question. Yeah. So we'll discuss that. Now, time causes all these 6 transformations: taking birth, growing, procreating, dwindle, diseases, and death. These are the 6 transformations. So time is the factor that causes these 6 transformations to happen. And here is a chart that describes the age of Kali Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga. Kali Yuga 432,000 years, and 2 times of the age of Kali Yuga is Dwapara Yuga, and 3 times the age of Kali Yuga is Treta Yuga. 4 times the age of Kali Yuga is Satya Yuga, and 1 cycle of these 4 yugas is called 1 Divya Yuga or 1 Maha Yuga, and 71 such cycles of these yugas is 1 Manvantara. 71 such cycles is called 1 Manvantara. And 1 day of Brahma consists of 14 Manvantaras. 14 Manvantaras. And Lord Brahma has day and night. Okay, 1 day of Brahma is 12 hours and his night is also 12 hours. So there are 14 Manvantaras in the daytime of Brahma and 14 Manvantaras in the night time of Brahma. So 28 Manvantaras in 1 day of Brahma. And Brahma also lives for 100 years. 100 years. And each year consists of 365 days. So you multiply 365 times
330 into 100, right?
huh?
330.
No, 365 times the 4.294, whatever you see that big number, times 100. That will give you 313 trillion years. Some big number. Just remember that. You don't have to remember these calculations. Some gigantic number that you cannot even put down on the paper or in the calculator. Okay. And then now karma. The 5th topic is karma. So what exactly is karma? In general, karma means any action. Karma means any action. And the law of karma is every action has an equal amount of reaction. Every action has an equal amount of reaction. Whether it is in the science or in the universal law, it's the same principle. Every action has an equal amount of reaction. And when we are in the material world, we perform various activities. And they have different types of reactions. Good reactions, bad reactions. If you perform pious deeds, they have good reactions. If you perform sinful activities, they have bad reactions. And whatever the activities that we perform, whether good or bad, again, it is under the mode of the 3 modes of material nature: Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. And that is decided by the food that we eat. Okay. So food controls the modes and modes control the karma. Okay. In Bhagavad Gita, there are 3 chapters. Chapter 3, 4, and 5. Karma Yoga. Krishna explains about karma in great details. Okay. There are about 100, 150 slokas actually, explaining about this karma topic. In fact, there are more slokas about karma than probably about jnana or, other types of yogas. Even after, explaining about karma in those about 150 verses, Krishna tells it is very difficult to understand the intricacies of karma. It is very difficult to understand the intricacies of karma. For example, let's say somebody is bitten by a mosquito and they get malaria. Okay. Now, is it possible to analyze and figure out which mosquito has bitten, because of which mosquito that person got malaria? Is it possible to analyze and find out that particular mosquito and kill that mosquito? Is it possible? No, because it's highly impossible. So understanding the intricacies of karma is also like that. It is very difficult. It's impossible. It's impossible to understand the intricacies of karma. But we can try to understand at a high level how the law of karmas work and what is our duty. We can understand at a high level. So Newton's law says every action has an equal and opposite reaction. The same thing in the universal law also. As you sow, so shall you reap. So whatever seeds you sow, you will achieve fruits accordingly. If you sow apple seeds, you will get a apple tree, and that gives apple fruits. If you sow pumpkin seeds, you will get pumpkin plants, a pumpkin patch, and they will give you pumpkin fruits. So if you do good things, you will have good reactions. You can enjoy. If you perform sinful activities, you have consequences, bad consequences, and you will suffer out of those. But somebody might say, what is good and bad? Who is seeing? I can go to a room, go inside a room, lock the room, and turn off all the lights, and then I can do anything that I want. Or my thinking, who is watching my thinking? My actions probably somebody is seeing, but my thinking, who is seeing my thinking? Nobody is seeing, right? I'm free to, we just discussed, I'm free to think the way that I want. But Krishna as Paramatma, living in every living entity, is watching all our actions and all our thoughts. He's simply watching everything that we are doing. The Lord is seated in our heart as Paramatma to witness our activities. Upadrashta Anumanta. Upadrashta is always overseeing. Always overseeing our activities. And Anumanta is the permitter. So Paramatma has to sanction. Just because we desire to do certain activity, it does not happen. So the Paramatma has to sanction that. Only then we can do any activity. We think we are able to do anything and everything, but unless it is sanctioned by Paramatma, we cannot do even a small thing. Even a small thing such as lifting this finger like this. It does not happen unless Paramatma sanctions. There is a saying, right? Not even a blade of grass moves without the will of God. Even the Christianity, religion people, they also believe that. Not even a blade of grass moves without the will of God. So, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also declaring the same thing, Upadrashta Anumanta. I am the overseer and permitter. Everything happens under my guidance. And there is another shloka in 18th chapter where Krishna says, Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. All the living entities are wandering in this material world under my guidance. Under my guidance as Paramatma. Mayadhyakshena prakriti. So this is the shloka in Bhagavad Gita from 13th chapter where Krishna explains about super soul. So in chapter 2, Krishna talks about soul, the attributes of soul in great detail. But in 13th chapter, after a long gap between 2nd and 13th chapter, after a long gap, Krishna describes about super soul. Okay. And just like the role of super soul is like that of a judge. Just like a judge, he is not partial to anyone. He is not partial to the victim or the plaintiff. Okay, he's equal to everyone, and based on what happened in that particular case, the judge awards punishment to somebody, and he awards or he gives a reward to other person. He's not partial. He's completely neutral to both parties. And sometimes he might give a severe punishment to somebody who has committed great atrocity, like a hardcore criminal or terrorist. The judge may grant rigorous punishment to that person, and then he might reward to the other person. And we see the similar thing happening under the universal laws, right? Like somebody is very poor, somebody is rich, somebody is born blind, or somebody is physically handicapped, whereas other person is very powerful, strengthy, mighty. Somebody is beautiful, somebody is ugly. We see these disparities. And it doesn't mean God is partial or God is cruel. So everything is happening under the purview of universal laws. Now the judge, he is not granting punishment to Hare Krishna. So we were glorifying your prasadam earlier. So
that's true, Mataji. Friday I didn't come, right? Today I forced myself to come here and listening this and the prasadam also.
So we were talking about how food impacts what we think and what we do. How foods impact the three modes of material nature, and how the three modes influence what we do. And then we gave an example of your food, how it impacts us every week in a to develop the mode of goodness more and more.
Friday I missed a lot. Your food, Mataji. Oh no, I didn't eat every food what Mataji might have made.
Yeah. Yeah, looks like you cooked so much today.
No, Prabhu, actually paratha takes time. Usually I take his help. I
Okay.
got a little late, so
Okay.
Oh, again paratha today.
Yeah. Okay, so just like the judge is not partial, God is also not partial. And everything is happening under the purview of universal laws. Whatever the living entities are doing, they get reward or punishment accordingly. Based on the activities of individuals, the judge gives different judgments according to the law. Now, types of karma. Okay, in chapter 3, 4, and 5, Krishna explains about three different types of karma. Good karma, bad karma, and then there is akarma. So in general, what is the law of karma? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Equal and opposite reaction. Now, everything that we do in the material world, they can be classified either good karma or bad karma. Karma that is performed as per the scriptural injunctions. Whatever is prescribed in the Vedas, if we follow those and perform our activities, then that is good karma. Or in simple words, karma, just karma. Okay. And next, second type of karma is vikarma or bad karma, sinful activities. Activities that are forbidden in the Vedas. That is vikarma. Any sinful activity, okay, which is against the scriptural injunctions, then that is bad karma. So both good karma and bad karma, they are binding. They are binding and keeping us entangled in this material world. If you perform pious activities, you will enjoy good results out of it. And if you perform sinful activities, you will suffer the consequences out of it.
But usually in karma Siddhanta, they will say, whatever you are suffering in this world, in this present life, that is your previous birth time.
From the previous lifetime.
Yeah.
Karma from previous lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are three other classifications of karma. Okay. Now, what we are discussing here is three types of karma: good karma, or karma, vikarma, and akarma. Now, there is another classification that I'll explain you in a bit that will clarify your question. Okay. So let's try to understand this. Okay. Good karma, bad karma. So now who decides, which activity is good and which activity is not good, or what decides, a particular activity is good or bad? For example, you see the picture here. A knife is being used by two different people. A knife is same knife being used by the surgeon to perform a surgery and give a treatment to the patient and cure his disease. And then the same knife, it can be used by a terrorist or a criminal to kill somebody. It's the same action, right? Cutting somebody, it's the same action. But the surgeon, he is appreciated, he is praised, when he saves somebody's life with the surgery, he's praised and appreciated and glorified. Whereas the same activity, cutting somebody or killing somebody with a knife, if it is done by a criminal or terrorist, then he's punished. So the good karma or bad karma is not in the action, but it is in the intention. It is the intention what matters. It's the intention that matters. Who, why, when, how. These are the details of karma that decide whether it is a good karma or bad karma. So who performed it and why did they perform, when did they perform, and how did they perform that activity? These are the things that decide whether it's a good karma or bad karma. The same action. For example, let's say there's a robber who is trying to break into the house by breaking the glass of the window. Now, when you see that activity, you try to kill him with your gun, or you try to call the police and you beat him up, you punish him. But now imagine there's a fire in the house, and then there is a child stuck up in the house. Now a neighbor sees the fire, and then he breaks the glass and he enters the house, saves the child. Now you will glorify that person who broke the glass of the window. The action is same, but who performed it, why did they perform, when and how did they perform? That defines whether it's a good karma or bad karma. So it's in the intentions. It's not the action that decides whether it's a good karma or bad karma, but it's the intention. Probably we can skip this topic. It is kind of not relevant. Now, when it comes to karma or loss of karma, right? When we take life and start living in the material world, we must obey the laws of karma. Just like when we start living in a new place, you must obey the laws of that particular city or that country. When we come to America, we start, we start learning the driving rules and regulations, and we drive according to these rules and regulations. Now you cannot use Indian rules and regulations and start driving on the other side. So and you cannot say that on the first day when you start driving in US, you start driving on the left side, and then when the cop catches you, you cannot say that oh, I didn't know. You cannot say I didn't know about these rules and regulations here. So ignorance is not an excuse. Ignorance is not an excuse. When you are a citizen of a particular country or city, it is your duty to know the rules and regulations of life in that city. Similarly, when you are living in the material world, it is your duty to know the rules and regulations and understand how the laws of karma work. How the laws of karma work. And the laws of karma are only applicable to human beings. They're not applicable to animals. Animals, they don't have any karma. They just burn their karma and they evolve from lower species to higher species. From a lower aquatic or insect to a higher animal, higher species. They just evolve from lower species to higher species. They simply burn their karma. They don't incur new karma. That's why a tiger, when the tiger chases other animals in the forest, tiger does not incur any karma. No new karma is incurred. It is a duty. It is natural for the tiger to kill other animals and satisfy the hunger. So laws of karma do not apply to animals, and because they don't have intelligence. They don't have intelligence to discriminate between good and bad. So, for example, let's say there is a place where a butcher is butchering animals. He's killing animals and cutting them into meat pieces. Now imagine there is an animal. There's a goat right next to that shop where the butcher is butchering animals. Now that animal, even after seeing that butchering activity happening there, the animal does not have the intelligence to discriminate what is going to happen to him after a few hours. After a few hours, the butcher is going to butcher that goat also, who is right next to that place. So the animals don't have intelligence, whereas humans have the intelligence to figure out what is happening in this material world and what is their duty, how to get rid of the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. So this is an opportunity given to us, either to go to the higher planetary systems or to go to lower planetary systems. Okay. Okay, now let's try to understand the concept of or the question, why do bad things happen to good people or vice versa? Why do good things happen to bad people? Or as Kalpana asked, right? Whatever we do in this life is primarily because of karma from past life. Okay. Now let's try to understand this concept of karma using 3 classifications. Okay. Probably you might have heard some of these. Either you might have heard the terminology and you may not know the details of it. So there are 3 classifications of karma: Sanchita karma, Agama karma, Prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma. So is everyone aware of this? Okay, let's seek some participation from online. Okay, Mahi.
Yes, Srinivas.
Have you heard of these 3 types of karma? Sanchita karma, Prarabdha karma, and Agama karma.
No, I know just only karma.
You only know karma. Yeah. Or at least Prarabdha karma, is very popular. Yeah. Yeah. If somebody is suffering so badly, the elders make a comment saying that Divide Prarabdha. Divide Prarabdha.
Yeah.
So
they have to suffer.
yeah. So So Sanchita, Prarabdha, and Agama Karma. Let's try to understand these three with an analogy. Analogy of bow, arrow, and the store place that you keep the arrows. It's called quiver. 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 Okay. It's some high sophisticated word. So imagine there is a quiver on the back of on your back. Okay. You saw all the movies, right? All the movies. Yeah, Bahubali.
Drama also have.
Bahubali or RRR. The most recent one. So Alluri Sitaramaraju, he has a quiver on the back and he has a lot of arrows in the quiver. Okay. And then he takes one arrow at a time, puts it on the bow, and then shoots. So there are three things: the quiver, which is full of arrows, and then the bow and arrow, and the shooting of the arrow. Okay, three things. Now, Sanchita Karma. Sanchita, the meaning of Sanchita is like a reservoir or depository. You know, in this term is commonly used in banks. Okay, like savings account. Okay, that means you put some money in that account and you don't touch it for a longer period. After 5 years or 10 years only, you will draw money out of that. So that is like Sanchita, deposit, savings account. Sanchita Karma is nothing but it's a reservoir or like that quiver. The quiver store place for the arrows. So it's the store place of your karma that you have accumulated from the previous lifetimes. Now, previous lifetimes means it can be 1 or 100, 1,000 or million or several millions. We don't know how many human lifetimes we have passed so far. Before this lifetime, we don't know how many human lifetimes we have gone through. It could be 1 or 100 or 1,000 or million. And whatever you have done throughout all these lifetimes, that you have accumulated and kept in that Sanchita Karma, that quiver, the bag of karma.
That's good or bad, anything, right?
Yeah, both good and bad. That's a good point. Both good and bad. Generally, when we say karma means we only think of bad karma, but both good and bad. Because in the quiver, you can have some good arrows that can kill somebody nicely, or you can have bad arrows that can go sideways. So that is Sanchita Karma. Is that clear, everyone? Okay. Mahi, is that clear?
Which activities you get that? For which activities you get that Sanchita Karma?
No, any activity, good and bad, both. So Sanchita Karma is just a store place for accumulating the good and bad, both. Yeah.
Like our good cholesterol and bad cholesterol.
So Mangesh, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah. So is this concept of Sanchita Karma clear?
So what I understood is basically it's a depository or a place where all karmas are kind of placed.
Accumulated. Yeah. They are accumulated over a period of time. And then, and it is not just accumulating, right? So in a savings account, you have money and you don't keep the money in the bank forever, right? You start withdrawing the money after 5 years or 10 years.
Some interest.
Hmm?
If you keep also, you will get some interest.
But you cannot keep the money forever, right?
Yeah.
Like 5 years or 10 years, we are keeping.
So whenever there is a need,
get something.
Yeah.
whenever there is a need and when at the right time, you will withdraw the money. Okay. So, and the archer, okay, the archer on the battlefield, he has a quiver full of arrows, let's say 100 arrows. Now he takes one arrow, puts it on the bow, and then shoots. Now that is called Prarabdha Karma. So shooting of the arrow from the bow is Prarabdha Karma. Okay. That means the arrow has left from the bow. Once the arrow has left from the bow, you cannot retrace it. You cannot take it back. Yeah. Only Arjuna, was able to do it. He released
Brahmastra.
Brahmastra, he has the skill of releasing it as well as retracing it. Ashwatthama also did that, but he does not have the ability to retrace it. He has the skill to release it, but he does not know how to retrace it. So once the arrow has left from the bow, that is prarabdha karma. That's why even the pious people, spiritual people, sometimes we see many people we see, right? They go through diseases or terminal diseases like cancer or other things, or they suffer from other miseries in the life. Now we may question and wonder, right? They're doing so much of devotional service. They're full of bhakti. 24/7, they're serving Lord, but still they're suffering. That means God is not merciful. Why God is not reciprocating to them? There are two reasons. Okay, one is God is testing their faith. Number two is their prarabdha karma is acting. Okay, their prarabdha karma is acting. Prarabdha karma is that action that has left the bow. That arrow has left the bow, and only Krishna can retrace it. Krishna can retrace it if you surrender to him. But otherwise, if you are still in the sadhana bhakti, you are still trying to achieve perfection, you will go through ups and downs. Okay, and those are because of prarabdha karma. So prarabdha karma is that bow that has left the that arrow that has left the bow. Now what is, or in other words, whatever is happening in our life right now, it is because of prarabdha karma. Whatever is happening in our life right now, in the current life, that is because of prarabdha karma. Now in the sanchita karma, in that quiver or bag, there can be 100 arrows, but only one arrow is released at a time, right? So whatever is happening in our life, that is prarabdha karma. Now agama karma or agami karma. Agami karma is that arrow which will be released next. Prarabdha karma is that arrow that is being released currently, or it is released at the present moment. Now after that arrow has left, now the archer will take out another arrow from the quiver, and then he will release that arrow also. So whatever arrow that is going to be released next, that is agami karma. Or whatever karma is going to manifest next in our life, that is agami karma. Or karma that's going to manifest in future, that is called agami karma. Now as I said, only Krishna can stop either your prarabdha karma or agami karma, or Krishna can completely destroy your sanchita karma. Krishna can completely destroy both good and bad karma that is in your quiver, in the store place, when you surrender to him. In chapter 18, Bhagavad Gita chapter 18, Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshaisyami masuchaha. Krishna is saying, Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. You abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender to me. And mokshaisyami aham tvam sarva papebhyo. Sarva papebhyo. That means I will take care of all your sinful activities. Now Krishna is telling sinful activities, but he means to say even good karma also, both good karma and bad karma, both. He says he's going to take care of your both good and bad karmas, and it is guaranteed. Ma suchaha, do not worry, do not fear. Krishna is saying that. So if you surrender to him, everything can be destroyed. Your sanchita karma, prarabdha karma, and agama karma.
So in this lifetime, if we surrender.
Yeah, if you surrender to him, even the prarabdha karma also will stop. But
no next life.
Yeah, no next life. And when somebody is in the sadhana stage, somebody who has not achieved perfection, if they are suffering because of some health diseases or some problems in their life, it is because of the prarabdha karma, or Krishna is giving some tests to make their faith stronger. Yeah. Now, when things happen in our life, okay, for example, that malaria example, right? When mosquito has bitten a person and malaria occurred. Now, is it possible for that person to analyze and figure out, search for that particular mosquito that has bitten this person?
In one movie, they showed, right? Rajnikant.
Monkey.
A monkey?
Ego.
Not
Robo,
Ega,
robo also.
Robo, I think so.
Robo.
Yeah. Yeah, monkey is also similar story, right? Yeah.
One, that is in that movie, Aishwarya Rai, I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rajnikant said.
Rajnikant, Aishwarya.
So that is your homework. That is your homework. Okay. So now it is impossible for us to understand that. Now the nature of these karmic reactions is such that some reactions are very instant and some reactions they take long time. For example, you go outside the door and then the first person you see on the street, you go and slap him. So what will happen, Samit?
They'll think of, yeah.
Huh? You'll get?
Angry
They will
people
get
are
angry.
They'll get angry, and then what happens after that? Huh? Take out your mask. He will hit you. Yes, very good. So you hit him and he will slap you instantly. It's an instant reaction. Now you don't need an astrologer to predict what is going to happen. Okay. So what will happen if I slap that person? Is he going to slap me back or not? You don't need an astrologer to predict that. It's an instant karma. Okay, instant reaction. Now, certain reactions, they take long time. Okay, for example, you, let's say over the weekend, okay, you eat a lot of food and a lot of spicy food, different types of food, too much food. And then Monday you are at work and then you have to go to the restroom 10 times. Okay. Now you start realizing, you start analyzing and trying to figure out why is it happening? Usually I'm very healthy and nothing happens like this usually. Then all of a sudden you remember Friday night you ate so and so food, you ate so much, you ate a lot of spicy food. Because of that, now I'm seeing the reactions now. So it took like 16 to 24 hours or 48 hours for that reaction to manifest. So some reactions are instant, some are slow, but as they say, there is a saying, the mills of God grind slowly, but does anyone remember that? Exceedingly fine. Mills of God grind slowly and steadily, but exceedingly fine. Exceedingly fine means what? Now in India, we have seen the chakki, right? They put some grains and then they rotate that. And then they don't let any single grain be wasted. Even if they see some grains falling on the ground, they take them and then put them again inside and then rotate. God's law or the laws of karma, they grind just like the, those mills, slowly but exceedingly fine. If you have 100 arrows in your quiver, all those 100 arrows have to be they have to be released. They have to be released. The laws of karma don't spare anything. Now, whatever is happening in our life, now we don't know because of which arrow in the quiver, which arrow is released from the quiver. It could be from the previous life or the thing that I have done 100 lifetimes before or 1,000 lifetimes before. We don't know. Now, this slide was showing here, right? Let me go back to this slide. Yeah.
In this lifetime, if we are doing all the good things, that won't affect this prarabdha karma.
If we want.
In this life, I am doing all the good things.
Yeah.
I am not doing any bad things.
Yeah.
But I have my prarabdha karma.
Yeah.
That won't affect this good things. That won't reduce
Your
my
prarabdha karma won't affect your good things.
Yeah.
No, whatever you do in this lifetime, it can, the agami karma, right? Agami karma is which arrow will be released next. After prarabdha, which arrow will be released next. Now that is based on your actions in this lifetime. Whatever you do in this lifetime, based on that, it will be decided which arrow to be pulled from the quiver next.
No,
So the agami
what
karma
I
is
am
dependent on your
doing,
current actions.
I am doing good, but that won't reduce my prarabdha karma. I am suffering something.
No,
No?
it won't.
It's already active.
Yeah.
I
Prarabdha
have
karma,
to suffer that.
in your quiver, if you have 100 arrows, 50 good and 50 bad. So you have to enjoy 50 good arrows and suffer from the 50 bad arrows. Yeah.
I can't escape because I am good in this life.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
And this slide gives that example. For example, okay, I'm not sharing this, right? For online people. Now, let's say there are two criminals, okay? One criminal, he committed only one murder, and other criminal, he committed 300 murders. Now, when both of them are taken to the court and the judge has to give the judgment, he gives, let's say, hang to death punishment to that criminal who has committed one murder. And the same hang to death to the other criminal also who has committed 300 murders. Now, is this fair?
No.
No, right? Now, what should be a fair judgment?
Maybe one murder person we can give lifetime. Lifetime.
Fair judgment should be
Lifetime.
that person who committed 300 murders should be hanged 300 times. Now, is that possible to hang anyone 300 times? You hang once and it's done. Now, the other 299 hangings, you keep it in the store place. You keep it in the store place. And they will manifest in the next lifetimes. Yeah.
Suppose if you have 10 arrows, right?
Yeah.
And the first arrow is very, very bad karma. The second one is very little less. And the 10th one is very even less actually.
Yeah.
If the God can reverse the order of the arrows, in the old time, if I get the bad karma, right?
Mhm.
I'm still fine. Right?
In the old time,
Yeah.
when you're old.
Yeah. But if he hit in the young age for me, then I will be suffering more, right? Like
Old
You can
time,
see the other-
when you are, it's other way. Exactly. You're right. It's other way actually. When you are old, during old age,
Anyway, suffering.
you have,
You're anyway suffering.
suffering, I will
You're
suffer
anyway-
more. That's
no,
why.
you're already suffering, but over a period of time, you have developed so much attachment to your family members, to your assets and everything. The attachment is so deep and strong that the pain is so severe when things are taken away from you. That's why death is so painful. So let's say you have an attachment to your assets for 80 years versus you have an attachment to your assets only for 20 years.
And I guess it's kind of hard to understand the laws of karma that way, because when we're talking about old age or young age or whatever, which arrow is going to be shooted in our life,
Yeah.
all that pain is actually accounted for. So when you are young and you are dealing with, let's say, some kind of separation from or detachment from your family, and when you're old and you're feeling you are going through the same situation, the pains might be different,
Yeah.
but the amount of pain has been accounted for.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for anyone one of us to understand how it works.
Yeah.
So that pain is actually accounted for.
Yeah. So
No, it's
so
the
whatever
order of-
fever.
if the order is reverse state, right?
Yeah.
I'll be more benefited. That's what my question is.
No, order may be reversed, or
Based on
it may be even cancelled also if you surrender to Krishna.
based on
And that surrendering,
Suppose if I'm not in surrender condition.
Yeah.
God is very loving or something, right?
Yeah.
If we reverse the order, then everybody will benefit.
It's not like reversing the order, but the same arrow. Let's say one arrow is going to cause you severe pain.
Right.
But if you are a sincere practitioner of Bhakti Yoga, you know, if you are worshipping God, serving God, trying to achieve perfection, but you are not achieved perfection yet, but you are trying to achieve perfection. So that pain will be reduced. The magnitude of the pain will be reduced. Same arrow, you are destined to get X amount of pain, but if you perform devotional service nicely, then to the degree that you are performing devotional service, to that degree, Krishna will reciprocate and minimize the magnitude of that pain.
And I guess to this question, Prabhuji, we can safely assume that God, even if we are following devotional activities or not following devotional activities,
Yeah.
we being, the Lord being so merciful and kind, He's already put the arrows in the order that will create least pain. So still we are paying,
Either least pain or the amount of pain that you can tolerate in this life. Yeah. Krishna does not give any pain
extra
that
pain
you cannot
don't get,
tolerate. Yeah.
So already you're getting what is best for you, but still if you want to reduce your pain, you have to start acting in a devotional manner.
Yeah. So as they say, exceedingly fine. Exceedingly fine means the mills of God grind slowly, but exceedingly fine means which arrow to be released, to what degree the pain should be given. Everything is so perfect. It's so minute. Sukshma. Exceedingly fine means sukshma. So everything is so precise and perfect.
And also
nothing will be spared.
When the judge is passing their judgment, the criminal have no choice, right?
Yeah.
Right?
He does not have a choice.
I think God has a different plan. Like humans are like they are limited, right? Humans are limited. Whatever the idea it is, they're still limited, right? Like,
and Prabhuji brought a good point, right? You cannot ask the judge to give a choice. Yeah? But what happens after you are given lifetime imprisonment, for example? But that can be changed based on your behavior in the jail. That can be changed. Yeah. Yeah, they can reduce the punishment.
Death also they can remove, right? President has the power.
Yeah.
Right?
But some rare cases.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll quickly finish up these few more slides. Okay, this we discussed immediate and delayed reactions. So this is the same concept that we were discussing, right? Good karma, bad karma. It's a misconception that, there are two understandings, right? One understanding is people who are ignorant of these laws. They think that with birth, we start doing things, and with death, everything is finished. No good karma, no bad karma, no sanchita karma. Okay? Everything is finished. Everything is burnt at the time of death, and there's no life after death. That is one concept. Another concept is good karma can nullify bad karma.
Yeah.
Okay, if you have 10 points of bad karma, people can think that if I achieve 10 points on the good credit side, they can nullify bad karma.
I thought that is
No, that is not true. Everything will be stored in your quiver, sanchita karma, and all the arrows will be released.
At first birth, we don't have any arrows, right? What does God do?
First birth?
Yeah, there is no arrows, right? For him. The first birth.
Yeah, first birth, Brahma. I confirmed with Maharaj. So remember the other day,
everyone is Brahma.
Everyone was Brahma.
First birth?
Yeah, first birth. First life. After we fall from the spiritual world into the material life world, the first birth we take is Brahma.
In the material world.
Yeah, in the material.
Why enlightenment?
So we were all Brahmas.
Okay.
The very first life, we were all Brahmas.
Remember
that day when I was telling...
Brahma is being a Vaishnava,
yeah.
and Brahma being who he is.
No, he's not, right? He's He's also mortal being.
Mortal, but then but he's Vaishnava. He's a great devotee of the Lord.
Not necessarily. He ran after his own daughter. He created a beautiful girl, and he ran after that girl.
Oh,
Now,
Saraswati Devi is his daughter?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Now the intelligence can be so dangerous that say Brahma is so intelligent, right? That's why he's able to create things. But sometimes intelligence can be so dangerous that it can cause destruction on things that you are creating. So he was running after his own creation. So he's not. I mean, he's doing service to Krishna for the creation of the material world, but at the same time, he's not a Vaishnava.
But Prabhu, this is like a little, I don't know, mind-boggling. Like
Yeah.
if everybody was Brahma, and Brahma's job is to create, creation.
Yeah.
If everybody is Brahma, who is Brahma creating? Whoever Brahma is creating is also has to be Brahma first.
Now there are different types of Brahmas, right? Different types of Brahma, and there are so many Brahmas in each and every planet, right? Each and every universe, each and every universe. Now, some universes that they may not be as gigantic as others, and there may not be so many. There may not be a need for creating so many living entities. The job may be small there. Whatever it is, everyone was Brahma.
Whenever they fall, and then did come the creation of whatever Brahma, some Brahma.
Yeah. So everyone was Brahma. So I asked Maharaj in the Sunday morning class. It was, I think, the time when you went to Atlanta that week. So we heard that lecture. Towards the end, I asked this question. Maharaj answered, "Yes, you are Brahma." The first lecture.
And then if Brahma did bad, then he falls down.
Yeah. And now, see, it is difficult to understand, right? How Brahma can do bad things, right? How Brahma can accumulate karma, good karma, bad karma, and how they can degrade further. Now, it is difficult for us to understand. Yeah, it is difficult for us to understand. Yeah, it is difficult to understand, but we are all Brahmas. At least be happy about that. No, that is different. Aham Brahmasmi, that is different.
In a way, it is understandable if we really contemplate and we try to think about it, that because Brahma, when Brahma created everybody, like the living beings, everybody was pious.
Yeah.
Then everybody was in Sati Yuga.
Yeah.
In every yuga, people have been falling.
Yeah.
Although when we understand in the very beginning of the yuga, everybody was pious, everybody was good. Still, they were doing something, which is why they have been falling.
Yeah, which is why they are still in the material world.
Which is why they have been falling into the different yugas. Like anybody taking birth in Kali Yuga definitely has fallen from when he had taken birth in Sati Yuga.
Yeah.
So, but then it has happening. It has been happening.
Yeah. Now we don't know how that happens, and
yeah, but then because it has been happening, so probably Brahma also falls.
See, the very fact that we fell from the spiritual world. We were with Krishna. We were we were 100% pure devotee of Krishna. Okay. From that point, we fell. Now, is it not possible to fall from the position of Brahma? It is possible. Yeah. And it is more likely to fall from a higher position than a lower position. Because that's the nature of flow, right? Water flows from higher position to lower position. And when somebody has a power and prestige and ability to create things, naturally, at some point they get pride and they fall down.
So when we're talking about karma and its reaction, we are talking that animals don't incur any karma.
Yeah.
But when we are talking about the other lives, like the Brahma life, which is not really a human life, it is a Devata life. So in those birds also are we?
No, it's a human life.
It's a human life?
Yeah.
Then
Brahma's life is a human life.
And how about
the demigod? It's a demigod.
Demigod, exactly. But
but it's a type of human.
But then we also know that if you are in any other lokas,
Mhm.
or let's say when you are in any devata form or anything, you have to have a human birth to go back to Godhead.
Mhm.
You cannot go back to Godhead from any other type of life. You have to have a human birth.
Yes.
So does that include Brahma and the Devatas? No, because it does.
Yeah, it does. It's a human species.
But one thing that is not aligning is that even on other planets, on earthly planet, we like accumulate karmas and all.
Yeah.
And on other planets, like on hellish planets, you burn the bad karmas, and on Swarga Lokas, you burn
Good
good
karma.
karmas.
Yeah.
So it does it not happen in like Brahma Loka is the highest planet. So but we still accumulate karma in that planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only good
Because
karma in that planet.
Brahmaloka is also in the material world.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
Subject to-
we also say that in Swarga Lokas, we are just burning our good karmas, and lower planets.
You are burning good karma,
But
and you're also incurring bad karma if you do bad things in Swargaloka. Yeah.
But why would anybody? I mean, because we know that those lokas are only for the
Good people.
yeah, for burning the good things. So you have all the facilities, everything. You still have bad.
No, you reach there because you had so much of pious credits. But after you reach there, then what you do, it is subject to your free will, right? It is based on your free will. You burn your good karma, that is there, but you also incur bad karma if you misuse your free will. Indra, for example, right? Yeah.
And so these devatas and all, they are also human lives. So from those lives of devatas, they can go back to Godhead.
Yeah, it is possible to go back to Godhead, but it is very difficult.
So
Because it's all enjoyment, right? They have powers and prestige, pride. They have a lot of anarthas.
I felt
But it
you
is
have
possible.
to have the earthly human life
Mhm.
to go back to Godhead, because that's what I felt.
No, it is easy from the earthly planet, earthly human life. It is easy to go back to Godhead because this place is full of miseries. And when there are miseries, you turn to God. So it is easy. Even the demigods, they pray to take life, to take birth as the human beings on earth. Yeah.
So
Right, they
what
want
is
to-
the highest goal actually? Suppose
Highest goal is to go to Krishna Loka, Goloka, or Vaikuntha Loka, or Ayodhya Loka.
then I won't come back again.
You won't come back again.
So that's the highest.
If you
goal.
go to Swarga Loka, you will come back.
Again, I can fall down.
After you dance with the Apsaras and
So it's still not safe place. It's still not.
Somarasa, you'll come back. Yeah. So highest destination are spiritual world. And there are different planets in spiritual world. Goloka Vrindavana, where Krishna is there. And Ayodhya Loka, where Lord Rama is there. And Vaikuntha Loka, Lord Narayana or Vishnu.
So from here I can go directly to Krishna Loka.
Yes, in 1 second. As Jyoti says, in 1 second. You can go in 1 second.
Okay, that's a good path, right? Like
Yeah.
instead of going to other lokas and falling down again.
Yeah.
So that's even.
See, now imagine,
That's the only glorification of Kali Yuga and all, right? Like it's so easy.
it's so easy. Simply chanting the
Chanting that
Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it is possible. Now imagine somebody who is in Swargaloka, how much pious credit, how much pious activity they have done, how much austerities, tapas, or how much good karma they have accumulated so that they are eligible to be in Swargaloka. Now what happens after you go there?
You forget God.
You leave 10,000 years or whatever number that is, but you just simply burn your good karma and then come to this in this earthly planet. Yeah. So instead, as you said, right, Sudhakar, it is easy directly to go from here to a spiritual world.
And then you won't come back again.
You won't come back. Yeah. So, okay, let's quickly finish. Now there are individual karma, collective karma. Individual karma is action or a reaction that is affecting only you. Okay, any activity that you are the whole and soul responsible person, like a criminal killing somebody. Okay, so there is no other third person involved there. That is individual karma. Now, collective karma manifests when there are a group of people who have similar karma. Let's say there are 100 criminals who have the similar background of killing people in the past. Okay. Now, collective karma manifests for all those 100 criminals in this lifetime, and things are arranged in such a way that they all travel together in a train or flight or some, some vehicle like that. And then an accident happens and all of them die. All of them die. Now that is collective karma manifesting for all of them together. Now, even within the family members, okay, collective karma manifests. See, for example, right now, we're all sitting here together. So what is happening now?
We are hearing Bhagavad.
Collective karma is manifesting. It's not just a coincidence that we are all here together. It's not a coincidence. It's not random or coincidence. It is because of some connection from the past. So either I was sitting there and listening, you're all, one of Basu was sitting here and giving the class or something. We all had some past connection. That's why we're all here together. That's why we're all eating, Yashamai Mataji food. So this is collective karma and family members, right? So everything is, the marriages are made in heaven, right? It is because of some past connection. In the previous life, the wife and husband, they did not finish their karma or debt completely. That's why they are here now to pay the debts. Or the children also, right? So either the child is possibly was possibly an enemy in the previous life, or
Enemy?
yeah, a bad child is an enemy in the previous life.
You when you become a old.
No, I told you, please, bad child, any child basically,
Mhm.
the spouse and the child are actually the ones with whom you did not have very good relations in your previous lives. You were like lot of fights and all.
So you have
No,
to come to
because
peace with
there
those
are a lot of
people,
good
right?
children and there are a lot of
So you're
good
quitting the
wives
fight
and
in this
husbands.
life?
Yeah.
It's good, but then what we've heard is like if there is too much fight, let's say me and my neighbor,
Mm.
or two people who have a lot of fights which is not settled amongst themselves in that life.
Yeah.
In next life, the tendency, the usual thing is that they will become either husband, wife, or kids and parents.
Yeah, that is true. That is true in case of quarreling
With some-
wife and husband in this life also. In this life, if wife and his husband is quarreling too much, it is possible that from the previous life, they are neighbors and then they are destined to be in the
Okay, so
same
if
home.
the husband wife is good now, then that does not mean that they were fighting.
Yeah, yeah.
We felt that it is, I knew that
It's possible that they were again wife and husband in the previous lifetime.
I thought that
Saat
was-
saat janam ki.
because with the parents and the kids, it's the most loving relation.
Yeah.
And then with spouse also usually it's the most loving relation. I thought that with the people who you fight too much, have that you will most likely become the spouse or the parent or kids to those people, so that you settle your things.
Yeah.
Learn to love, learn to live
Love
with
that
peace with them.
person.
Yeah. No. So if it is, there are a lot of good children, good wives and husbands. So it doesn't mean that they were necessarily quarreling in the previous lifetime. No. So, let's say in this lifetime, a wife and husband, just like you both, nicely serving Krishna. Now, in the next life, it is most likely that you both will be
Again,
wife and husband again, continuing your sadhana to perfection.
Thank God. You're thinking, okay, whenever, because I thought this, so if we had discrepancy with anything, I know, my God, next month, that's it.
Yeah.
My question is, they're doing all this in this life. They won't come back to this world.
Yeah,
Oh,
again.
Right? I mean,
Yeah, that's the hope, right?
That's the hope.
That's the hope, and we pray for that.
Okay.
But let's say they achieved 99% perfection.
Okay, then okay.
For the remaining 1%, they have to take birth, and it's most likely they'll be born in a pious family. Not most likely, it is guaranteed that they will take birth in a devotee family, and then they will continue right from day one. They'll continue devotional service. Yeah. So collective
That
karma.
1% of karma also again they need to take birth.
Yeah.
But there is somebody I heard from somebody that like Prahlad Maharaj attained perfection at a very young age. So there were yogis who were doing tapasyas for like thousands and thousands of years. They questioned the Lord, like, why is such a young child, achieving perfection?
Yeah.
Then the Lord told him that in his previous life,
He showed him actually.
he showed him like he was almost like about to achieve the perfection. When I was coming, he just left his body. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very edgy, right?
Yeah.
So basically, before entering the kingdom of God, you have to be full quiver free.
Yeah, full quiver free. Yeah. And that is akarma. Did we? Oh, we didn't discuss akarma, right? Oh, we discussed only karma and vikarma, and we did not discuss vikarma.
Akarma.
Sorry, akarma. Yeah. So let me quickly explain about akarma. So akarma is that third type of karma which does not have any reaction. So the karma, vikarma, good karma or bad karma, both have reactions. But there is a third type of karma that has no reaction, that is akarma. So any devotional activity, any devotional service activity, that is akarma. Whether hearing Bhagavad Gita, reading Bhagavad Gita, or offering fruits to Krishna, making garlands to Krishna, visiting the temple, doing some service in the temple. These are all devotional activities, and they are all akarma. They have no reaction, and the only reaction is they'll help you go back to Godhead. They'll help you go back to Godhead.
And Prabhuji, and if we didn't achieve perfection in this life, this service will help us to go to better life.
Yeah.
It will help, right?
It will help you. It will help you. So if you don't achieve perfection in this lifetime, in the next life, you will be either born in a rich family, so that you don't have to worry about financial problems, and you will focus on devotional service, or you'll be born in a devotee family itself. Yeah. Now, as Sudhakar asked, right, this question: do I have a choice, or is it all destined? So do we have free will, or is everything predestined? So what do you say? Let's go around the room and Basu, what do you say? Everything predestined? Okay. And we don't have any choice?
I think so. If it is free will, that free will is your destiny. It is destined. You are destined to have free will. You are destined to do something due to your free will. That's how I think. So.
Okay. Jyoti?
Choice, because we can choose to be devotee.
Yeah.
No? If
Good,
we do
very good.
more service, we can be free from everything.
She's already in Mayapur, huh? She's already in Mayapur. Yeah, good. That's a good point. You can, because of choices, you can choose to be a devotee or not. Okay, that's a good point. Yeah. Sudhakar?
Yeah, I think the same thing. Like you can, whether two choice, right? Whether you can love God or reject God.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there are only
good.
two options.
Yeah.
If you love God, it will be a wonderful time.
Yeah.
If you reject God, then all this miseries and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. Kalpana Garu? Yeah. So you have a choice.
Yeah.
You have a choice, but it is under limited free will. It's not like you have complete freedom and you can do anything and everything that you want. It's a limited free will under the purview of universal laws. So you have choice, as they all mentioned, right? To become a devotee or not, or even in our day-to-day life, what can I do? What can I not do? You have limited free will. You have limited choice. But everything
You
under the
can use
control
this
of,
time something else also. You don't need to come and sit here, right?
yeah.
But like
That is
Prabhuji said
also-
that, because of our past karma, it's collective karma, we are here. So that also could be an argument, right?
It may not be a
Oh.
choice, but it's just because of karma.
Yes, your karma, you are here. So
Yeah.
That's the question, I think, right?
Yeah, no, the fact that the specific 10 people, why we are sitting here, it is collective karma, no doubt. Because you could be sitting with, you could be sitting in a different class, right? You could be sitting another class in Redmond or Samamish or something else. But because we all have joint karma that we have to go through, you're coming here. It's not random. Now, forget about which class that you are attending. Okay, you are attending some class. So is that also destined, or do you have a choice? Attending particular class. This particular class is no doubtedly karma, collective karma. Okay, or joint karma. Now, forget about the particular class. Some class, some Bhagavad Gita class. Okay, whether online or some other home, somewhere in the temple. So is that also karma, or is it because of your choice, because of your wise, intelligent choice that you made in this lifetime?
It's also similar, right? It is also class. This is also class. So pain, karma.
Yeah. So actually it is both choice and the collective karma. First choice, because you made a choice to attend Bhagavad Gita class. That's why you decided to attend Bhagavad Gita class. Now, which class to attend, that Krishna will send you based on the collective karma. Yeah.
Oh, not our
Yeah, it's not your choice.
choice. Okay.
I'm sorry, you have no option other than attending my my class.
He's coming with us, like we all together.
Yeah, so we think we are pulling them, right? But it is actually Krishna who is sending you as an instrument, or sending her as an instrument in your life.
That's what I told to Kala. Mataji, I went to Tuesday service. With you means I have to start by 6:50, right, Mataji?
Yeah.
That day my work was done by 6:50. So then Jyoti Mataji called me, we are going. Then I said, I will come. So that day I went and I told Kala Mataji, I met there. Seeing me, Kala Mataji is asking, Kalpana, please come. We are so happy you are coming. I said, I'm having that interest to come here, but freeway, this much a drive, I won't do. Because of that, God only sent me Mataji and his people.
See, first
in
you have
my
a desire,
life.
right? You have a desire. That's your
Yeah.
choice.
That is
Because you have a desire and you made a
long,
choice,
yeah.
then Krishna arranges
Yeah.
the transportation.
And my mother-in-law, she's also a devotee, but she has this one thing saying, like, we keep on saying something, we chit chat and we talk. So I tell, like, we discuss that, patta bhi nahi hilta hai, Bhagwan ki marzi
Yeah.
karna, not a blade of grass will move.
Totally.
And all that has to be coming from God. So, and when we're talking about karma, God decides, and God sanctioning some things. So if you have a spiritual desire, God sanctions that faster.
Yeah.
That's what she says. I don't know. She has because for me, like, I did not know how to sew. I did not even know how to thread a needle.
Yeah.
So, but then when she came here, she was like, now you're bringing in the deities. If you don't learn, then who are you going to rely upon
Yeah.
for their dresses and all?
Yeah.
You have to learn.
Yeah.
So I
That
was
is
like,
true.
even I desire. I used to tell him also. I have two desires.
Yeah.
Like when I really get into that level, I want to cook for Lord. And because once Srinivas
Malipati.
Prabhu,
Yeah.
we were discussing and he was saying, like I said, okay, like whatever we cook, we offer, but it's not like, we don't go to Lord and ask, okay, Bhagwanji, what do you want to eat?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what do you want to eat? And he says, okay, let's make rasgulla. Then we make rasgulla and offer to Lord.
Yeah.
And then he said, no, there will be a day, Mataji, that will come when you will actually start asking Lord,
Yeah.
what might God would want to have today?
Yeah.
So I had that kind of desire that I want to cook for Lord, one, and I wanted to sew dresses for Lord. These were my two desires.
Yeah, and see, beautiful. Today I saw winter dress. So, this is special actually.
Yeah.
Winter dress. It's so beautiful.
So
Yeah.
did not know, Prabhu. I did not know how to do it.
Yeah.
Like all my life, and I coming at this age,
And it happened so fast
It
because
was.
it's a spiritual desire. It happened so fast. Material desire, if you ask, then Krishna will give, but it will take time because
And it
first
has-
Krishna has to purify you.
that, and also you have to be eligible for those kind of, like, let's say if you want to desire for lots and lots of money, opulence,
Yeah.
let's say, but you have to have that ability.
Yeah. You need to qualify
Here,
and also.
here you talk, it's like, yeah, if you want to desire, if you have a desire, spiritual desire, then you're qualified. Already that desire makes you qualified.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
me, Jyoti Mataji, and without you, Mataji, I can't.
That's what I'm saying. You wanted to, you had the desire of going to the temple and serving.
So,
Yeah, similarly, right? On Gita Jayanti day, Saturday, I did the Gita recitation. I led the Gita recitation from 5 to 9. And then I went home and I had a good sleep. And then next day, every year, Saturday I do it. The first day I do it. Gita Jayanti day I do it. And then next day, Maharaj does it. So next day I was thinking Maharaj only will do it. He will lead the Gita recitation. And then I don't know what happened, but the second day, Sunday morning, starting from 10 o'clock, I developed severe stomachache. And I even went to ER. And the evening, even I am not leading, but I want to sit with Maharaj and recite along with him. So I was feeling inside that, oh, I'll be missing today. I cannot even go to the temple in the evening. I cannot participate in this Gita recitation along with Maharaj. So I was thinking in my mind, and then exactly sharp by 4 o'clock. No, sharp by 4 o'clock, the pain got reduced. The pain completely gone. Pain completely gone. Pain completely gone. And by the time I went to temple, Maharaj was already falling asleep. He was tired, and so he said, you go ahead and do it. So the second day also I had to do it.
Yeah,
So you were there that day, second day, right? Yeah. So yeah, spiritual desire, Krishna will fulfill immediately. Material desire can take time. Now coming back to this, let's finish up this quickly. Choice or predestined. Because there is love, there are choices given. Now, if you force your child and say that everything is predestined, you have to do whatever I say, then the child will run away. Because we are giving choice as freedom, that's why they like to, stay in the home. Otherwise, they'll run away.
they feel like it's a jail.
Okay, this slide shows another example where two brothers from the same parents, one has grown up nicely as a businessman and the other one as a thief. So what's the reason?
They're thinking, sort of their thinking and behavior.
Yeah, right. It will bubble down to this.
So what are the reasons? Two children, two brothers. Okay. Somebody on the call saying something?
No, Srinivas. Actually, my thought is, the two people are, the people are different, right? So,
Yeah.
one is the one profession, the other one is choose the thief profession.
One is what?
One is choose the businessman, that profession.
Uh-huh.
Other one is choose maybe the thief one. He liked it.
So you're saying it's a choice. It's a choice that they made. Yes, you're right. It's a choice that they made, but that choice is influenced by the previous, the vasanas coming from previous life. Vasanas means desires. Desires coming from previous lifetime. So somebody sent a message. One second. I have to leave. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a choice. One person, one brother made a choice to become a businessman. Other brother made a choice to become a thief. But that choice is based on vasanas from previous lifetime. Okay. Now, if you look at this life, we cannot explain any reason, right? Oh, why one is brother, one is businessman, one is thief. But it's all coming from previous lifetime.
what finally I understand, Prabhuji, we can't escape from any part of the karma. Only currently, Krishna only we can escape from this birth and death.
Karmic cycle.
Yeah.
Only by surrendering to Krishna. Yeah. So free will is always there. Now this is another concept people said it. We talked about it. Good karma can balance out bad karma. Good karma can nullify bad karma. That is not true. Good karma and bad karma do not cancel each other. Or somebody might think, I'll only do good karma. I'll go to Himalayas and where I don't have to commit any bad karma. I will go to Himalayas and I'll only do good karma. But even that is also binding. Good karma is also binding. It's also ultimately it's an arrow in the quiver, right? It has to be released. That's why we have to do the third akarma. Karma that has no reaction. Good karma or bad karma, both are bad, both are binding. Then what do I do? Do that which produces no reaction. That is akarma. Just like a soldier. Soldier in the army is he's killing so many people, but he's not getting any reaction out of it because he's doing according to his duty. And in fact, they are given rewards and awards, Paramveer Chakra, those things.
If they die also, I heard like they will go to Swargaloka because they are fighting for country.
That is applicable. That is true in case of a dharmic sangram, dharmic war, but not war between Ukraine and Russia. Yeah.
No, in the Mahabharatam only I heard.
Yeah, in Mahabharatam, yeah, whoever died.
They went for Swargaloka.
Yeah. No, in fact, they all went to. They all went back to God.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they were killed by God, right? They are killed in front of God.
Yeah.
Killed by Arjuna, but in front of God. Yeah.
Oh,
So they got enlightened?
It's not enlightened.
Special mercy.
Special mercy. It's a special quota because they're all special people. It's not like they're all like people like us. Whoever participated in Kurukshetra Sangram, right? Even on the Kaurava side, they're all special people. They all have a role to play in the whole pastime. So everyone was liberated. Yeah.
You do gentle bali before God, right? So all these go to God or no, right?
Gentu Bali.
Before the God they will do, right?
Yeah, no. Because Gentu Bali, nowhere in the Vedas it is mentioned. Yeah. Nowhere in the Vedas it is mentioned. Now there are some concessions given in the Vedas. It's not a Jantu Bali saying that, okay, you do this festival for this Kali Mata, and then you sacrifice 100 goats. Nowhere in the Vedas it is mentioned like that. But something similar to that is mentioned in the Vedas, that is to give concession to the 4 regulative principles. 4 regulative principles are no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit affairs. Okay. Now, no meat eating. If you tell to a person who is like a hardcore meat eater, he eats 3 times meat every day, 365 days. He likes to eat meat 3 times a day. Hardcore meat eater. Now, if you go and tell him to stop eating meat all of a sudden, he cannot do that. So for such people, a concession is given in the Vedas. There is a procedure given saying that, okay, you take the goat in front of a goddess, Kali Mata or whatever, and then there is a prayer saying that, okay, in this lifetime, I'm killing you. In the next life, you kill me. In the next lifetime, I'll become a goat, you become a human, and I will kill you. And you kill me. They recite a prayer, and then they kill the goat and eat the meat. Yeah. So some fight up.
They won't become again in next life a goat.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you want to eat meat, if you cannot stop from eating meat, you have to recite that prayer, do that procedure, and then kill the goat and eat meat. Yeah, but nowhere like the mass killing of so many animals in the festival, it is not prescribed. Yeah. Okay. Sarvadharman Parityaja, we discussed this. When we surrender to Krishna, Krishna will take care of all our good karma and bad karma. And we discussed this also, right? How about losing the effect of akarma? Yeah, we discussed this also, right? You asked Kalpana. If you don't achieve perfection, what happens? Then Krishna says in the next life, so whatever little amount you have done in this lifetime, whatever little devotional service that you have done in this lifetime, it is not lost. So let's say you achieve 5% perfection in this lifetime. Next life, you start from 6% onwards. You don't start from 0. Yeah. So this is a summary of all what we discussed. Yeah. How to live a life of akarma. Yeah, this is summarizing everything. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's about it from this topic. Why do bad things happen to good people? And why do good things happen to bad people? Now, if a bad person is enjoying some good results in this life, it is not necessarily because of some good things that they did in this life. It is from some good credits from previous lifetimes. Yeah. Okay. Any questions before we wrap up?
I think one of the question that was earlier came up was that there are certain things which are destined, right?
Yeah.
So those destined things, like for example, when the Lord says to Arjuna that I have killed all these people already.
Yeah.
So you just become an instrument.
Yeah.
So those things are destined. So those destined things, do they incur, like if we in our life also we go through those destined things?
Yeah.
So do they also incur any karma?
Add karma to you.
So let's say, maybe it's a bad example. Like Kauravas were killed already by the Lord, and Arjuna just became an instrument to show that on the surface he killed.
Yeah.
But let's
okay,
say,
so you're asking a terrorist killing innocent children.
Destined, yeah, and
innocent children.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they incur karma. There are two things, right? They are acting as an instrument. At the same time, they are incurring karma. They incur karma because it is their conscious choice that they made to become a terrorist and to kill people. But Krishna is using them as an instrument to kill those people. The innocent children. Innocent children, they did not do anything in this lifetime. But why they are being killed by the terrorist is they have some bad karma from the previous lifetime and they have only lifespan of 11, 12 years and they need to be killed. Now, Krishna uses that terrorist as an instrument. Which terrorist? That terrorist who is thinking of killing innocent children at that time. Now, if Krishna does not find that person who is thinking about killing innocent children, Krishna will find some other way to kill those people. Krishna can create an earthquake in that place, just in place earthquake. It does not happen. It does not happen to surrounding homes or anywhere. It can happen only in that school, or the roof can collapse. Krishna can create a situation and kill those people. But if somebody is thinking about killing innocent children at that time, Krishna can use that person as an instrument.
And then they will incur karma.
They'll incur karma. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
like
very,
in the same example that you mentioned, like the concession given. So in this lifetime, I'm killing you, and in next lifetime you kill me. Now in next lifetime, when the other person becomes the goat who becomes a human and kills,
yeah,
Vice versa.
so
right?
he is
It's a
again, he's again incurring the same karma that the previous life somebody else incurred.
yeah.
So it becomes a cycle in that case, right? Like so.
It becomes a cycle for some time, but it's not a never-ending cycle. So at some point, whoever is in the human position, they will think.
They can choose to not do that.
They'll definitely think, okay, so am I really need to, do I really need to kill this animal just to eat food? Can't I eat fruits and vegetables or something? Or by the time they will develop some disease based on the Sanchit karma, and then that person who has taken the human form, he will make an intelligent decision.
He can break the cycle.
He will break the cycle. Yeah. So,
by his choices,
yeah. So yeah, it's very complicated. The laws of karma, the intricacies of karma is so complicated. Krishna himself said, it is very difficult to understand. You can give it a try, but it is very difficult to understand. So if you understand these 6 things, the Sanchita karma, Prarabdha karma, Agami karma, and then the karma, Vikarma, and Akarma at a high level, then that is good enough. We don't need to scratch our heads and
I think even in the Mahabharata war, we can understand from this that when Kauravas are already killed by the Lord as a time factor, and Arjuna being an instrument. Now, depending on the mood of Arjuna, he will incur or not incur karma. So if he is fighting for dharma, he will go to Swargaloka. If he is fighting for enmity and for the kingdom, he might go to lower planet. But if he is fighting for the will of Lord, he will not incur any karma.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Everything same. It's just based on his intention, his desire. So if you are doing something and you are thinking that I am doing, then you have to suffer for it. If you are thinking I am doing as a service to the Lord, you don't have to suffer for the same thing.
Yeah.
But how do I know it is I'm doing for the will of God or not?
That will.
I don't know, right? Because I can hit someone else.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm doing for the will of God.
That you will know in your heart, right?
Yeah, that is the instant thing, the intuition, right? Paramatma from within, he will tell you. Even a robber who is going to steal, every robber will definitely feel before stealing. Every robber will definitely feel that it is wrong.
I rob it and I serve for 100 people. It's still good for me.
No.
It's a bad
from
thing.
Within, you will feel it's a bad method of serving others. There are so many other good ways how you can serve people. But when you are stealing money like they show in movies, and then in the name of serving others, it may be service to others, but you will feel, because that activity is bad, right? So you'll feel bad. You'll feel bad, but first of all, how do I know whether I'm doing it for the pleasure of Lord or not? Is by reading Shastra, Bhagavad Gita, and by taking guidance from spiritual master. Yeah. So that's what the intelligence, right? To discriminate between good and bad.
Yeah.
And we can sharpen our intelligence by reading Bhagavad Gita. Yeah.
And one time he said, right, Prabhuji, with a good heart we are serving the prasadam, that people also turn towards Bhagavan. With bad things, we are earning the money and we are serving the people, means they also become a bad people, right?
No, if you're earning money through bad means and then
like,
serving them.
What Sudhakar Garu said, he is stealing.
No, they don't
he is
incur.
robbing from someone's house.
Yeah.
And he is serving, but that is not good, right?
No, they don't incur bad karma. You will incur bad karma. Whoever is earning money in a wrong way,
No.
They will incur bad.
They incur bad karma. They won't turn good way, right? Because you are robbing from someone, you don't have good intention.
Yeah.
Your intentions also show to.
No, my intention is good.
They won't become devotees, but at least whatever is their need, that will be satisfied. If they have a need of food or clothes, their need will be satisfied.
Like prasadam, how that react, in this case, it won't react that way, right?
So you're saying serving prasadam? Huh? See, first of all, person who is in the mood of serving prasadam, they will not rob and get money.
లేదు నేను తెలుగులో చెప్తాను. ఇప్పుడు మాతాజీ ప్రసాదం పెడుతున్నారు, అది తిన్నాక మనకి అందరికి మంచిగా అనిపిస్తుంది. సో దట్ వే సుధాకర్ గారు ఏమన్నారు, నేను చాలా మందికి సర్వ్ చేయాలి, అందుకని నేను సంబడి ఇంట్లో నేను దొంగతనం చేసి తీసుకొస్తాను అంటారు. అప్పుడు ప్రసాదం పెట్టిన ఇంపాక్ట్ మంచిగా మన మీద ఉంది కదా, అది నేను అంటున్నాను. వాళ్ళ మీద కూడా అలాంటి బ్యాడ్ ఇంపాక్ట్ ఉంటుంది కదా.
That is right. Because the consciousness of the person who is cooking the food, that will be given to the person who is eating it. Yeah.
That reflect that service also.
Yes. Especially food. If the cook whoever is cooking the food, whatever is the consciousness of that person, that will go to the person who is eating that. Yeah.
See, if the universe is working on the laws of karma, right? Then what is the purpose of Maya actually? If there is a Maya.
Maya is nothing but the three modes of material nature. The three modes of material nature, they are like three ropes. They are binding you and they are always forcing you to act various things.
Oh, either passion or sattvic or tamasic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is the purpose of Maya.
Yeah. That itself is Maya.
Okay.
So Maya's job is to test you, to keep you bound to the material world and to test your faith. Are you a sincere devotee who want to turn to God or not? Now, the way you strongly turn away from Maya, that means you are strongly turning to Krishna.
Prabhuji, Maya also created by Krishna only?
Yeah, it's Krishna's energy only. Yeah. She is Krishna's devotee.
Oh, Maya?
Yeah. Because she is testing everyone, right?
Maya?
She is doing service.
Sister, right? Subhadra. Subhadra is Maya, right?
So there is
That is
Yoga Maya.
two types of Maya. Yeah. There are two types of Maya, Yoga Maya and Mahamaya. Mahamaya is what we know about, right? The bad Maya, so to say.
The Maya that keeps us in the material.
Keeps us in the material world. Yeah. And Yoga Maya is that energy that facilitates different leelas to happen. Now, in Ramavatar, when Lord Ram appeared in Treta Yuga, right? Lord Ram himself, he did not know that he was God. He himself did not know that he was God. Now, who is facilitating this? The Yoga Maya is putting some curtain, some cover. Otherwise, he cannot perform that leela, right? Yeah. Now, when Krishna, in Dwapara Yuga, when Krishna, little Krishna, Mother Yashoda was tying him with the ropes, right? Even though he was a supreme person, he can simply break the ropes and nobody can actually bind him, right? But he let Mother Yashoda bind with the ropes, and then he was actually looking at Mother Yashoda's anger. He was actually crying. He was really scared and he was actually crying. That was a real crying. He was not acting. So who is doing this? Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya, you can think of it like a director. Director who is enacting this drama.
Even for the devotees also, like Yashoda Mai, if she thinks that Lord is Lord, she'll not be able to have motherly affection. So she's also put in that Yoga Maya to think that she's mother.
Yeah. So this is a transcendental drama in which Krishna is director as well as actor. Because Yoga Maya is Krishna's energy only, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is coming from Krishna only. So he is the director and he is the actor also. So, okay. Anything else?
Srinivas, I have one.
Yeah, tell me.
How to describe which people are, those people are good one, those people are bad one? Now Kaliga.
How to differentiate between good and bad people?
Yes.
Yeah. So you need to have a definition of what is good and what is bad, first of all. Okay. Now in Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, towards the end of 18th chapter, Krishna describes what is good and what is bad. What appears like poison in the beginning, but turns out to be nectar in the end, is good. And what appears to be nectar in the beginning, but turns out to be poison in the end, is bad. So you need to have a definition of what is good and bad. Now you may hear different definitions of what is good and bad. Now if you ask a criminal what is good, he will say, just kill people. Killing people is good. If you ask a robber, he will say stealing money is good. If you ask a butcher, killing animals is good. If you ask a sadhu, going to Himalayas is good. But Krishna gives a definition. What is good and what is bad. So now you keep that definition of good and bad in mind. And when you deal with people, so you figure out whether, if I associate with this person, am I going to get temporary happiness or permanent happiness? Temporary happiness is that happiness that gives you, that appears like nectar in the beginning, but poison in the end. Permanent happiness is that which appears like poison in the beginning, but nectar in the end. Now, if you associate with a person, a good person, you should definitely feel that you are going to get permanent happiness with him. And if you associate with a different person, and if you feel that it is momentary, it is flickering happiness, that person may be, maybe using me for some temporary happiness. If you get that feeling, then he's a bad person, a person to be avoided.
Sometimes people can act like good or bad. So how can I know those people are good, those people are bad? I'm in situations that.
So it doesn't happen like a crystal ball, right? Nobody has a crystal ball you put in front of Basu and ask a question to the crystal ball. Is Basu a good person or bad person? So it's not as easy as predicting with a crystal ball. So even after today morning only in the class, after the class, during conversations, Maharaj said this. After 20 years of living with your wife or husband, you may find out different things after 20 years. Same house, same family, wife and husband, so close, such a close relation. But you may not be able to find whether that person, the other person is bad or good. And there are certain things that you have not discovered in the last 20 years. You may discover new things after 20 years. So it is not very easy to figure out on the face if a person is good or bad. But
sometimes it depends upon situation, they will act like that.
Yeah. No, in front of you, a person may act very nicely, just like boyfriend and girlfriend, right? Everything they'll act very nicely, as if you are the most special, you are like God to the other person. But the reality will kick in slowly, and then you will know different things, different shades slowly. So the key thing here is you need to sharpen your intelligence. To be able to discriminate between good and bad, you need to sharpen your intelligence. And you can sharpen intelligence by reading Bhagavad Gita. That's the only way. There's no other way. There's no other way. Otherwise, we're always confused with these dualities. Oh, is this person really good or not? How do I know? Is this a good thing for me or not? How do I know? Should I live in India or America? Should I take up this job or other job, Amazon or Microsoft? We are always confused because both appear to be good. At a first glance, Amazon and Microsoft both appear to be good. But as you get more knowledge and as you hear from people, then you figure out, Amazon is not the place to work. So like that, as you get more knowledge from Bhagavad Gita and as you associate with like-minded people, devotees, in the association of good devotees, you will sharpen your intelligence to discriminate between good and bad. And then after that, you will not be confused in life. You can make decisions very quickly, very easily, and you can discriminate between good and bad very easily.
I think if we can add, like we say all the time, sometimes when it is difficult to figure out if that particular person is good or bad.
Yeah.
But then if there are certain times when you can definitely know that this person is good.
Yeah.
Just keep associating.
Yeah.
So I've heard this in like many times that if you have enough of goods in your life, the bad will fall apart anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't need to really discriminate if you can't.
Mm.
Just keep on associating with the goods that you have analyzed. Okay, these are the good ones.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I have been told is like, in a very broader way, anything or any talk or any person that brings you closer to Krishna,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
And anything that takes you away from Krishna, that's bad.
That's bad. Yeah.
And anything that's not doing any of this, that's waste.
Yeah.
Waste of time.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect. That is what Krishna summarized in 18th chapter,
Yes.
shlokas, right? 2 types of happiness. Happiness in the mode of goodness, happiness in the mode of ignorance. So anything that brings you closer to Krishna is a good thing or a good person. And anything that takes you away from Krishna is a bad thing or bad
And there are
person.
such people who are like neutral, who are not bringing you closer or taking you away from Krishna. But then that's actually bad in a way, but really it's waste of time. So
Yeah.
you're not really having tough time with them, but you're not benefiting either.
Yeah, that so-called goodness is also not good.
Yeah.
That so-called goodness is also not good.
Taking away your time, basically, wasting your time.
Yeah.
And also there are, as you progress in the path of bhakti and spiritual realization, slowly you will realize that everybody is good only, like because they are
Yes.
part and parcel of
Yeah.
God. So how you deal with them will also differ on your level of progress where you are. So
Yeah.
and yeah, like much details are given like in Nectar of Devotion and all Nectar of Instruction, how to deal with different people.
Yeah.
And how do people at different stages deal with the same people.
Yeah.
Differently.
That's
Yeah, that
actually
time
very
you have
good.
more knowledge of something, right?
Because once you
So
progress,
your
you
maturity
start
levels,
progressing the
yeah,
thing.
you must understand.
Yeah, you'll see divinity in everyone.
Divinity.
Pandita Samadarshinaha. You'll start seeing God in every living entity, even animals. You'll start seeing them equal. You'll not differentiate between animals and humans.
Yeah, you won't kill also. Yeah, you change it, right? The attitude and all.
Yeah,
Saying it also there, people in general are good.
people in general are good. Yeah, people in general are good, and see, this is the principle of atheists, right? Atheists are people who don't believe in God, right? So their philosophy is, I'm good and I'm not causing harm to anyone.
That sounds so good.
But that goodness is not good.
Like it's eventually not taking you closer to Krishna, right? So
Yeah, that goodness is not good.
what good is it? Yeah.
See, Krishna, absolute truth, he is the most loving person, and he is the most loving person. And if an atheist is saying he's not believing in God and he's not even talking about God, he's not taking you closer to God, and he's saying, I'm being good, I'm not causing any harm to anyone. In fact, he's causing harm.
To himself.
Yeah, he's causing harm to himself and he's causing harm to others. Because he's not helping anyone, bringing them closer to Krishna. So-
In fact, I think even Prabhupada, once somebody asked him about ahimsa, right?
Yeah,
So, like somebody who is not trying to be spiritually perfect, he is actually he's doing himsa because he's like killing the soul, like in a way.
yeah,
So that is the real meaning of ahimsa and himsa. So
yeah. Chapter 13, Shloka 18, Shloka 8 to 12, Prabhupada explains about the real definition of ahimsa. Now, our general understanding of ahimsa is, if we are not killing animals or if we are not killing anyone, then that is ahimsa. But the real ahimsa is, if you are helping others to get an opportunity to connect to Krishna, then that is ahimsa. Now, what does that mean? The opposite of that is, if you are not helping others to connect them to Krishna, you are actually practicing violence, himsa. You're actually practicing himsa. So, like Jyoti inspired Kalpana, Kalpana inspired Jyoti, and together you both are doing services nicely. And there are so many other neighbors, right? Now, if you are not inspiring them, now we hesitate, right? I mean, even I also hesitate to talk about spirituality with my neighbors or even family members. Even I also hesitate, right? Now, when there is a classroom setting like this, yeah, we can talk, but we cannot knock on each and every door in the neighborhood and, hey, come to class tomorrow. We cannot say that. But the reality is, if we are not doing that, if we are not knocking on the doors and talking about Krishna, we are actually practicing violence. That's why Christians, they knock on the door. Yeah, they do that.
Always say something.
They give some booklets and they even talk actually. They don't hesitate. Even the college kids, they don't hesitate.
Yeah, they will come and knock.
It's only we hesitate. We feel ashamed and we feel shy.
We think they want to come in our path, so why? That's all right.
No, forget about they coming in our path or not. The first hesitation is, oh, what will they think about me?
Will I become acceptable in the society?
Yeah.
Like that's the fear. It's not that whether they'll come.
Yeah.
That what Jyoti Mataji is saying is also true. Will they accept or not? Like, will they receive us properly or not?
Yeah.
But then that's anyways, we have to understand that that's not in our hand anymore.
That's their problem. That's their problem. But our problem.
And if the person in front of you is not ready to accept spirituality, that's their problem.
Yeah.
They're right. Yeah.
But our problem is we will fear that they may look down upon us. They will eliminate us from their circle of friendship.
They judge us.
Yeah, they judge. Yes, they'll become judgmental, right? Yeah.
One of my classmates, I used to say all these spirituality things.
Yeah.
She always rejects.
Yeah.
Finally, these days, she finally came to my path again, and she's asking me to direct.
Yeah. So initially they will stamp you as a temple people. Temple people.
Yeah.
They'll say temple people. But slowly they will realize and they'll come to us.
Prabhu, like our good friends, like family friends also, they are about to say, you're wasting so much, then they'll change the word. You are putting in so much time and effort in all these activities, but they start like that.
Yeah.
Your time is being wasted.
Yeah.
But they'll rephrase it and
We don't feel bad.
that we don't feel
Yeah.
bad. But they do this. Very close friends also.
Or don't do anything now. You have a lot of time.
That-
Retirement.
From the grandmothers also.
In retirement. Yeah. Even grandmother will say.
Oh, Ekadashi, that
Now.
is after 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is their method. Correct. You are not that much old.
What?
Yeah.
So what?
You don't need to do all these things.
Yeah.
You have a lot of time to do all these
Yeah.
things. So we don't know.
Yeah. Thank you, Mahi, for staying online so long. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Thank you, Srinivas. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Hope to see you in person next week here.
In person, next week, no class, right? Here.
Sometime next week. Next week means whenever.
మీరు వెళ్తున్నారు కదా
Yeah. I'm going.